Namaskar. Where's everyone?
We are, yeah, we're, I mean, give them time. Everyone's Desi on this show. Like, we are late, our audience is late. Yeah, anyway.
Let me
Oh,
check
that's
if.
why we are here. I was like wondering, like, what's happening? Okay. Do we want to start out like for the people who are going to miss the live show, but then they'll show up in a little bit? Do we want to just introduce ourselves and be like, like what is happening right now?
Yeah, I mean, let's just do like we would do our regular show, and then
Okay.
we'll just cut around it. People can jump in, people can jump out. I don't think we need to change the format. We don't need to change the successful formula that has done 100 episodes.
100 episodes, guys. 100 episodes.
Yeah.
Paresh is like Desi standard time, like obviously. That's what happens when you like Desis try to coordinate. This should not be a surprise to anyone. Right.
Let's get going now.
Yeah, let's go.
For sure.
So, welcome to the celebration, live celebration of 100 episodes of Khandaan. Thank you for joining us. Whoever is joining us on the live stream, we're all old. We don't know how to do this, so we're just figuring it out. So if we don't see your content, we don't see your question, sorry, it's also Joy's fault. This is not my fault. But yeah, let's get going. I think we've prepared some topics, and we're also waiting, from interaction from our guests, and we will have some guests. So I think Beth will be joining us a little bit later on. Beth is first, right?
Yeah.
And then Pitu Sultan, the infamous Pitu, will be joining us too. So you can see all of us interact together and see the madness that goes on behind the screen. And we also got a lot of wonderful questions from a lot of listeners that we will try to answer as much as we can without any preparation done, as usual, as is Khandaan way. So what shall we do first? Shall we talk a bit about the trailers that came out, or shall we dig into the questions straight away? What are you guys feeling?
Let's save the trailers for like when people show up, like for Pitu and Beth, because then we'll have like tons to talk about with them as well. Let's just go through the questions that people sent in for us, because then we can just talk about them.
By the way, disclaimer, like I don't have ADHD or anything. I'm just posting on Instagram and stuff like we are live now, like the social media guru that I am.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go. We got some questions, and I think we still got a few on Insta too, which I don't think we've uploaded all of them, but we'll go through them one. I think this is a good one to start. Let's start with this one. How did we meet, and how did this nonsense get started? I actually want to hear your version of this. I've told this story many times already. I want to hear like what is the other side of the mirror? How did you meet me?
I don't know. I think for me, I think where you were still doing your podcast and we were still doing like, I think the first episode that we did was Rowdy Rathore with Filmy Girl back in the day. So I think that was how we interacted. I was still doing my Bolly Pop Tumblr, and that's how you contacted me. Like, your gifts are funny, and let's maybe jump on the podcast and talk nonsense on Rowdy Rathore. And then obviously we
like, let's be friends.
I know.
Be my friends, Sujoy.
Want to do friendship?
It's difficult though, right? Like being in the 30s, like I'm quite old now, but back in the day when Rowdy Rathore released, I don't know when, it's difficult to make friends in your 30s, right? But Asim, thank you so much for inviting me. And then we met offline. I came for Sophia's first birthday, I think, and that's how we met. Yeah. Sophia is Amrita. Sophia is Asim and Isa's daughter.
Yeah. I had this idea that you guys knew each other way longer than that for some reason. Like
Asim's pyar is so like wholesome. It just ages really well.
I knew about Sujoy because it's kind of impossible to have been on the internet for a long time and not have interacted with like one of Sujoy's things like somehow or the other, because like Bolly Pop is like Like Sujoy, I don't know for what reason, like he gets very like Sharmila whenever anyone talks about Bollypop. It's like, oh no, like, let's not talk about that. But honestly, like I feel like most people don't know this, but like half the Bollywood gifts that people are using on social media these days was made by Sujoy back when people didn't know that social media was going to be a big thing and everyone was going to be sharing memes and gifs.
How did Sujoy not get a cut from Giphy? Like that I don't get. Like all those gifts
or BuzzFeed,
Yeah. Sheikh Iman's career is based on
Sujoy's work. So I knew of Sujoy, but like we hadn't like somehow become friends or anything, because like in those years, like Bollywood, like the Bollywood Twitter space, like I was on the fringes and I was friends with a lot of people on Bollywood like online stuff. But I wasn't like close friends with a lot of them. I knew most of them through Beth, actually, because Beth is like 100 times more social than I am. So she would like, because I'm still an Indian girl, right? So I'm just like, I don't need to be friends with everybody, like stranger danger, like we'll just wait.
Yeah.
But Beth is American. So Beth is like, yeah, I'll be friends with everybody. And then she'd be like, come be friends with everyone that I'm friends with. I'm like, okay. And then what happened was I moved to London a few years ago, and Beth was like, oh, you're going to be in London. You should meet my friends Asim and Sujoy. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right. Because every time I move to a new place, I'm like, fine, I'll just meet whoever, And then I met Asim and Sujoy and Nikki, who is this Atlanta-based, like Asian American Bollywood fan. I can't remember the name of her blog.
I do. It was called apunbindas.blogspot.com.
Right.
She used to write a lot about 90s and 80s trash Bollywood movies, but then she sort of, like everybody else from America who used to watch Bollywood and write blogs about them back in the day, they have moved on to K-pop and K-cinema, K-dramas now.
So Nikki was visiting London, and I think like Asim and Sujoy were just basically doing like, okay, fine, like we have to like meet these two women, like we'll just bring them together. And we went to a British institution to meet.
Yeah, Nando's.
We had a cheeky Nando's.
Indeed.
I can't lie, like I was actually like super excited to go to Nando's, because every single British person I'd met for like years was like, oh my god, a cheeky Nando's, and I was like, okay. And then I went in and it was chicken, and I was like, okay. I see.
You're a Delhi girl. I
mean, chicken is basically a vegetable where I'm from. So I was like, okay. And then we sat down and we started talking. And I actually feel a little bit bad for Nikki, because we just went like hardcore, like talking about the trashiest things that nobody's ever heard of. And then after that, we would just meet and stuff. And then we became friends. And then Asim reached out to me and I went on You podcast with like Asim and Sujoy a couple of times and like a couple of other people. And then Asim reached out and said, do you want to be part of a podcast with like a regular podcasting thing with Sujoy and myself, and it's going to be called Khandaan, and it's about the 3 Khans. And I immediately got the niche that he was talking about, because like here's the thing, like everyone talks about like, oh, like why are you guys like doing the Khans, like it's so played out, like everybody talks about the Khans, why don't you talk about something new? But here's the thing, everybody knows the Khans and has at least one Khan movie that they love and they grew up with. So I immediately understood. Yeah. It's always a conversation starter, right?
Yeah.
And I immediately, and I say this for like Sujoy and Asim, like it's not just that we understand each other on movies, but also we understand each other on ideas, which is like a rare thing when it comes to like, because I do a lot of stuff online, and it's pretty rare to find people who are like on the same level. So I immediately understood what Asim was trying to do. And I was like, yeah, I'll come play, because it was just fun, like hang out with my friends and like talk about movies. But yeah, sure, I'll do that. And so that's how Khandaan came to be from like my perspective. But I don't know about you guys.
I mean, I did not have a choice. Like, Asim just bullied me into it. Basically, he's like, Amrita is joining. You got to. I mean,
once when we do sell out for $1 million, I'm gonna have that email framed where I was like, "We're getting Amrita, Sujoy, you're there anyway. Like, you don't have no choice." But yeah, I think it's funny. Like about Sujoy, like male friendships are weird, especially when you get older. Like it's hard to become friends with another man. Like it's just a weird one. Like because as kids we were like, I have a ball, you want to play, let's play, let's be best friends. That's how male friendships work. But for us, it's like we don't have sports, we don't have drinking as a common thing. So like us kind of nerdy guys, it becomes a bit like tough to kind of really become friends. And we're also not like really like toxic bro culture, like check out her ass, bro, that kind of thing. We're not, we're not that kind of guys. So it's kind of like Sujoy was almost like a celebrity for me. Like when I initially contacted him, so he's like, and then I met him. I was like, now he's like my little brother. Like I treat him and I see him, and like even my family feels he is like my little brother. So he's become really part of my family. Like I feel like even like in the pandemic, like he was saying he's going to move house, and I was like all sad inside, like don't go further away from me, stay closer, come closer. And Amrita is funny because I knew of you, but you were like people that know you now don't know how hidden you were at the start, right? Like there were no pictures of you. There was like your full name wasn't there. There was no live streaming, and now you're just out there. But at that time, I interacted with you. And then also like again about that being like a now toxic guy, I try to be like friends with female halke, like I don't like go full on committal like that kind of thing. So, but when we met at Nando's, you were late, and secondly, when we were taking that selfie stick and you just took over the selfie stick and saying, Asim, let me take the picture. I was like, yeah, apni bandi hai. I like this. So I think, I found my tribe then. And I was like, there was like really no other, when we were when I was brainstorming this idea, and how the idea for Khandaan came into my brain is I was doing You Podcast for a long time, but I was running out of energy because I started You Podcast way before podcasts were popular. Nobody was listening. India had no footprint whatsoever. Most of the people that were listening were diaspora kids or like, Bollywood bloggers. And Beth was really kind of that connective tissue to all of us bloggers at that time, right? And that's how I got to know, Amrita and Sujoy. But I was really running out of steam, and I even talked to a few people. I think even our friends at Bollywood is for Lovers that I might quit You Podcast. Like I was just like, where do I go with this? And then I was like, Serial happened. Serial, the podcast about murdering people and all that. Yeah. And then there were a lot more podcasts coming up, and then 2 came out. One was Denzel Washington is the greatest actor of all time, and that was basically just about Denzel Washington. And then the other one was How Did This Get Made, which was making fun of bad movies. And I was like, wait a minute. What my thing is, take an idea from somewhere, adapt it to Bollywood, and gold. So there was
not just one idea, 2.
So like when you put like if you have those 2 things together, Denzel and How Did This Get Made, Khans were ideal for it, and that's where it kind of took off. And I think now we're like the thing now it's also evolved. Don't you feel like the podcast, like the idea of the podcast is evolving? Like now it's about like living through this pandemic together. Like, that was never the intention initially, right?
At least like the last year that we've been actively podcasting, like how many episodes that we did, pretty much every week we recorded, I think. It felt like that, but in a good way, because it kind of was like a survival strategy for all of us, to keep each other company, and for others to probably, drop into that conversation that we were having, like from what the world was going through, what we were watching, what we were going through as well. But whilst we are here, I'll just give a shout out to everybody who's joined the stream. Paresh, Yamini, Pappu Charu, hello. Nim, Shekhar, Hello, guys.
My friend Rajat is there too. I see.
Obviously, Rajat is here. Hi, Rajat. My friend Praxi is also here. Hello, Prakash.
Paz is here.
What?
Faz is here. Rahul B. Raj, Arjun Singh, Zombie Z Queen, Shekhar Ruparela, Pulkit Kocher. Hello, Pulkit. Hi, everybody who's joined the live stream. Thank you so much. This is going to be so much fun. Beth, somebody inquired when is Beth joining. Beth will be joining soon, I think. But yeah, Vash visits. She also joined, and Ashwin.
My sister is there.
Oh, hi, Bushra.
She's gonna poll calling all the nonsense. Bushra will be calling my polls. She does.
I just want to say, like, Vash said that she'd seen Trimurti and Chahat in preparation for this live, and I just want to say, like,
this was never the intention of Khandaan, that you watch the terrible movies we watch.
Yeah, we don't take any responsibilities for the audience trying out Trimurti. Yeah, don't sue us.
Shall we move on to the next question?
Yeah,
because this is the question.
One more question that Rajat said. Well, he commented about my wallpaper back with the newspaper there. That is not the look that I was going for, but it does look like an engineering hostel room. But that is a very Pinterest-inspired look. And that is because I am doing like self-portraits in lockdown. So you will see that soon on my Instagram if you're following me on Instagram. Should I plug my Instagram?
Yes.
Go ahead, yeah. Plug
Okay, if you guys know me, then, well, you guys follow me anyway. But my Instagram is at 93K. But I had my first photo shoot today. It was amazing.
When is the result coming out? When are you posting those pictures?
Well, abhi to edit karna baki hai.
Okay.
Yeah.
Also, you need to make take my headshots when you're done with that, because that photo shoot was really good too.
Okay.
Is that wait? Did Joy take that photo of you that we are putting in the thing, like the black and white?
No, that was my lovely wife.
Oh, okay. Isa has mad skills, huh? I have to tell you, like, everyone needs to know that Asim's wife is basically like a genius with like everything visual. Like, she has like.
When are we gonna eat the cake?
We should eat the cake. We'll eat the cake.
Like, look at what Asim sent me. It's a little Khandaan cake. Can everyone see? Wait, where is the?
Well, I've got 6 of them. I'll post a picture.
I already ate like 3 of them. So.
So my daughter was eating hers today because she couldn't wait. Obviously, there's cupcakes in the house. I'm not like, Hitler, that I'm not gonna. And she's like, Salman Khan, I'm about to eat your face. Sorry.
I will join her in solidarity. Sorry, I'm gonna take that.
Oh God.
So
you can eat.
Oh, is it edible?
By the way, if you're in Kochi, we got them from Fluff in a Cup on Instagram. Sarah, she's Sarah Zia. She's always been nice for the times I've. How are the cakes though? Like, you've tasted them. She's always nice dealing with me, but they're good, no?
They're really good. It's like salted caramel cupcakes. Yum.
Yum.
Second
actually,
question.
I don't know what Sujoy got, but I got salted caramel cupcakes. They're yum.
We got from Lola's.
Cookies and cream. Second question. Let's move on. This is the question we get the most, and I think we need to answer this. Why is Saif Ali Khan not part of the Khans?
I mean, I don't know who these people are. Saif Ali Khan has never had a fan club. I don't know who these people are.
Wait, but you guys, you have to follow that account on Twitter, na? Like, what is it called? Not Saif's BV, that's Shahrukh's BV, like Saifians or something, na? They love Saif. Like, I don't, but the thing is, like, this is what what Sujoy was saying, how Saif doesn't have fans. I don't know if Seth's fan account is a parody account or they're actually fans.
But also, like, even if we have excluded Seth, he by proxy of just existing in Bollywood comes across in our conversation. Like, we've already like parodied his Rani or Wow and all of that. And obviously, we talked about Dil Chahta Hai, at length in our Dil Chahta Hai episode on Khandaan podcast. So it's not that we don't include him, but he's also like, he's not the three Khans. That's what we are all about.
Yeah.
I think also he's like, I don't like, clearly he's not a superstar. He's a star. He's a good actor, but he's not a superstar, like in my book at least, and I don't, his career has been really patchy. Like it took until like Dil Chahta Hai to start making some decent movies, and that was like 15 years in already. And then basically he's an actor with some good phases, so, and we would need to sit through a lot of bullshit. It's like we would never do an Akshay Kumar podcast, right? Just because the amount of shit that movies he's done is
I can't believe Asim is saying this, that he wouldn't do an Akshay Kumar's podcast.
Who are you?
Even I am saying I wouldn't even be able to do it.
Like our my and Asim's rishta is dependent on Rowdy Rathore,
So there's the start of it and the end of it. Like, ab nahi. I don't think we've talked at all about Akshay movies on the show. But even like Ajay Devgan, like if you top 5-7 stars, add Ajay to it, then maybe Saif's number ka aata hai, like it takes a while to get to him. So that's one of the reasons.
Do you reckon Ajay is a bigger star than Saif?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tanhaji or Tanhaji, like he's the side one. He's the main one. That's how.
Yeah.
And I think also Saif is comfortable not being part. He doesn't want that pressure, I
mean, he is like, Nawab, so he doesn't care.
He's just basically funding his lifestyle with his movie career. Like Seth is very sorted that way, and I admire him for that, because that's what I would do if I was in his shoes. I'd be like, I have a palace, I have a hot wife, I have like cute kids. I'm gonna make some money and then enjoy my life in like Switzerland. Like, yeah, do that.
He's like a Kardashian of Bollywood, basically.
So sad.
But he's got more talent. Let's be honest. Like,
good faces.
He's a good actor. Paresh said that Langda Tyagi was the only like role that he did like that was really good. But I actually like that other one that he did. Now I can't remember the name of it, but the one where he's playing the 1857 Revolution one. I talked to you about it. Lal
Kaptan. Lal Kaptan, so good. Like
really
people
good.
Watch Lal Kaptan. It's a really, really good movie if you haven't.
I still haven't watched it.
Yeah, there's he's done lots of good ones. Like there's a lot of good ones he's done. Third question. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
So I had here, and sorry I didn't write down who asked these questions. I should have done that, but this one I liked, and it kind of leads from the first one. What do we find easy and difficult to discuss when recording or preparing our podcasts? So I think it's more about how the process of how we create a podcast or how we create an episode. That might be a little more interesting.
Asim is hyping it way too much. I don't think we have a process in place. Like,
no, but I'll tell you, I actually thought about this. I think the reason why we always talk about how easy it is because we talk to each other anyway.
Yeah.
And so we are not really like planning things. It's not like a professional relationship where we are just like, okay, and like now we need to take notes and like do all this. It's just us getting on WhatsApp and just chatting anyhow and being like, hey, like what's up? Like we'll do this, we'll do that. And it's easy. Like this is the good part about working with friends, like the bad part is we can't shut up and we just like talk for like 3 hours. And that's on days when we are tired. So yeah. I think we make it sound easier than it is, actually.
Okay, both of you guys have no process because I have the process. That's true. I do all the work. That's why it's like, oh, it's easy. Khud ba khud ho jata hai ye
like when Asim was not available and I think I had to host the Talash episode, like I ran out of steam so soon.
No, because
no,
Sujoy and I do the Bengali podcast, right, with Beth.
Folly, folly. You
Yeah.
can't even remember the name.
Listen, I have pandemic brain, okay? Like this is the best thing you
But
can get.
also, like, Amrita is super busy now. She's on Clubhouse. She's doing other podcasts. She's doing her YouTube channel. She's amazing. Like, I really need to applaud you on your game.
I'm just overextended all over the place. But basically what happened was like Sujoy and I and Beth also, like, we basically started doing all the things that Asim does, and we were just like, we really miss Asim, yeah. Like,
Indeed.
we just want Asim here so much.
Like, which movie? Yeah, I think I moderated the Dibakar Banerjee, Byumkesh Bakshi, and also for season 1, I did the Nayok episode. And we had to prepare so much. Like, Asim, really, thank you so much.
So I basically have a running notebook of ideas that I kind of keep jotting ideas in that I can then bring in whenever I need. Like, I think that's what writing people do. Like writers, they have like these little ideas. My challenges are the content, and a lot of, like, last year was tough for us because there was just nothing coming out. So finding something to talk about, like, and that's why I always, bug you guys on a Thursday, then on a Monday, what are we talking about, guys? So the list becomes long and long and longer. So that's some prep work that goes in there without you guys even knowing. But yeah, so just kind of keeping a tally of the things that we want to talk about. Second challenge is keeping the energy high. And I think even we discuss about that a lot. And I think we can tell we will be going on a break after this one, just for like one session that we record. We record every 2 weeks, and then we record 2 episodes at a go that I then split up. So you have one every week. And I think a lot of our listeners were feeling that the 2-week break was too long. They wanted an episode every week. And that kind of helped out for us. And also because we figured that, if we're watching some old Akele Hum Akele Tum, it doesn't matter if we drop it like this week or that week, the movie is still there. But the reviews, the trailers, the thing that we've watched that week, that needs to come out at a regular basis. Otherwise, it gets too old. So that's one thing we do. So just to kind of get it. And then the third thing is to be different. That's also kind of a challenge that we have, and I kind of always think about. So I think Paresh pointed this out on You Podcast, which I'd kind of always had in my mind, but I've also mentioned it, but never explicitly thought about it, that we are very spoiler heavy. Like for a podcast or a film discussion or film criticism, everybody avoids spoilers. And my thing is, if we're not going to talk about spoilers now, when can we delve into it, right? Because we don't have a pressure that we have a large audience that's waiting for our reviews or our star rating or anything like that. People that want to come into like the show, they want to have a deeper film discussion. And a lot of times you cannot have that discussion if you don't get into spoilers. So spoilers is one thing that we do.
I'm not going to rewatch Daulat Ki Jang again for a second spoiler wala episode,
Yeah.
No, I think that's the difference. Like, like a lot of people tell us like our reviews are like problematic or whatever. And I'm like, we don't do reviews, we do discussions, right? Like a review is a very different thing, and none of us do it. What we do is we discuss it. We discuss a film, we deconstruct it, we talk about all the different parts of it. And we make it sound easy, and we make it sound like we're like idiots talking about it. But honestly, like, it takes effort, you guys. It's not that easy also. Like, I feel like if I've done this with other people and I've done it with these two, like with Asim and Sujoy, and there's like a world of difference between like Asim and Sujoy, because I know them and I can, like, even when we disagree, I know like they're making a good point and I need to engage with it. And at when to take them seriously and when not to, and stuff like that, which only comes with like long friendship and like, hours spent talking. Yeah, exactly.
Just a quick shout out to the ones who have just recently joined. Alisa, hi, Alisa, and Faz. Faz says Amrita is like Karan Johar. She's everywhere.
This slander, like Faz is just going on every platform slandering me. And who's Zombie Queen? Because like she's
Ungli
like,
kar rahi hai, zombie queen ungli kar rahi hai. चाबी भर रही है zombie queen.
don't worry, we'll get to Ahmed. Don't worry.
Happy birthday, Jackie. We've got our
Happy
cake.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Have cake with us.
I'm eating. Yeah, I'm eating.
Okay,
cake too.
this is also like my birthday cake because my birthday was on the 26th.
Yeah,
happy birthday, Sujoy.
Thank you.
Two more things about the process, and I wanted to add that because I just figured out what note I made because it was unreadable. But we discussed, I think one is age also, right? We're old. And that helps sometimes. Like when we're having a film, like a lot of times people ask like, oh, you've done so much research. No, we just lived through that era. You know, we remember the film fair, we know the secret gossips, we know Silk Smita and all that kind of thing. We used to read them because there was no internet. So we actually had to read magazines, right?
Silk Smita. I just want everyone to pay attention to Silk Smita. Okay, go on.
And then the third thing is we're all outsiders, right? And I think we were discussing that the other day, that like what Bollywood is and it caters to, none of us are part of that, you know, like I'm Pakistani Muslim raised in like some other country. You guys are, you know, somewhere from somewhere else.
Go on,
quickly going through the geography of India, like shit, where are they from?
I was gonna mess it up.
Oh, Beth has joined. Should we bring her on?
Yeah, yes. Bring Beth on.
I just know Silk Smita from.
Hi, Beth.
Hey, Beth. Hi, top friends.
Top friends.
Beth, I'm sorry. I'm just devouring cake. I forgot to get a spoon, so I'm just eating with my hands, like an animal. I can't help myself. It's so good. I can't stop.
You're talking like I've never eaten cake with you before. I know how you eat cake.
Sorry. I'm just figuring it out. What's the best layout for this?
I think this is the best, no?
Okay.
Yeah, this is fine.
People can look at my entire bedroom now.
For people who don't know, like Beth and I, we've like known each other. I don't even know how long, like 20 years, I'm going to say. That's a rough estimate.
Something like that. A long time.
You're aging yourself, Amrita?
Yeah, she is.
Old, like there's nothing to hide at this point.
And Beth is like, so when I moved out of Belgium, I was working in Paris and I didn't know anything. I just basically moved there and I didn't know anybody. I just had a job because Belgium is racist and they didn't want to give me any jobs. So I found this job in Paris and I was there and that's where I found Beth's blog. And I was like, wait, people on the internet talk about Bollywood? And then I started like commenting and things like that. And it was like a lifesaver. And I think if I hadn't found Beth's blog, things would have been really, like my entire life would have been different. Like imagine like what an effect it has.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
We love you, Bethy.
We love you guys too.
Beth
is really nice.
Beth is in some way or the other, like she's the Kevin Bacon in this team. Like she connects us all.
Yes. It's all I've wanted in my whole life is to be Kevin
Bacon. What shall we do next? Actually, should we talk a little about Puglet? How do we pronounce that?
I haven't watched it, by the way.
I know Beth and me are the only one that watched it, right?
Yeah.
So I thought maybe nice. Do like something professional, like do a bit of a review. That's what we do, no? Yeah.
Actually, Rajat has a question for Beth. He's like, from 2007 to 12 was the golden era of Bollywood blogging. Now everyone's on Twitter and has a podcast. Do you think the art of Bollywood blogging can be revived?
I think it would involve all of us, myself included, agreeing that we were going to read longer form stuff as often as we used to, right? Like, I think about how seldom I blog anymore. It's been 2 years. And I guess it's because I mostly tweet, and that's so... Like, that's kind of pathetic, right? To think that I used to enjoy writing multiple paragraphs and now I tweet. But, I mean, there's no reason why not. But
like You Podcast also had a blog, right? And but so many times I've had like I'm thinking like I want to write something longer, and I just don't have the energy for it. Like I'll just tweet it in short form, and almost the art has become to make your thought shorter and like succinct, right? Like almost like a TikTok video in a way. It's the same thing where nobody has time anymore to read like long form. Like you sent this really amazing Dibakar Banerjee interview, right? I was like, I just scrolled through it. I was like, shit, I do not have time for this thing. I do not. Like, that dude talks way too much.
Even he knew that because he was like, you're going to publish all of this, right? And the guy was like, yeah. Don't worry.
But yeah, Beth, what did you think of Puglet?
I really liked it. And I hadn't read any of the reviews, but I got the sense that maybe it wasn't being reviewed very well. But I really enjoyed it. I thought there was something about its structure that resonated with my own experiences of grief that really worked for me. And it didn't make me sad, but it made me feel, like the reason things seem a little, there's all these different threads happening, because that does happen. I mean, it happens in life a lot anyway, but I think grief puts a certain lens on things that makes you kind of see a bunch of things in a new light. And that resonated for me. So I really liked it. I also want to just call out the background score, which I loved. Sujoya in particular, I think you would find it really interesting. Like the instruments are different. It was really cool. I liked it a lot.
I gotta say, the trailer or the teaser that dropped, and I think we talked about it a little bit on the show, does not give a good idea of what this movie is at all.
I agree.
Like I felt like, oh, this is some kind of weird, quirky comedy, and I was watching the movie, and I was like, this is not a comedy.
No,
this is not funny. And weirdly, it made me think most of Hotel Salvation, Mukti Bhavan. I'm also kind of dealing about grief and things like that. But watching it, I have found the term I have been looking for so long to describe these kind of movies. You know, like it started with, sometimes you call them small town Indian movies, Hindis you call them, you know. We need to call them brown shawl and maroon sweater movies.
Yes, the wardrobing choices in this are very, very, very specific, and you're totally right.
Brown shawl, maroon sweater. That's what
there's even knitting to go in. Like if you're going to go really hardcore, you have women knitting, which this movie did.
Brown shawl, maroon sweater is Asim's version of Vidwa Ma Andi Behan.
It's very 2000s to have that. 2010s.
I really liked it. I liked the movie. It made me more sadder. Like you kind of like go into it thinking that it will make you happy because it's a quirky comedy, but it's not. It's like a serious movie. And it made me feel really claustrophobic more than anything about these structures of family. Like just you're in. Well, is this shot in Delhi or is it like Lucknow? Is it okay?
Yeah.
And that movie with Amitabh with the stupid nose, that was also yeah, same kind of house too, right? Like these old palatial houses where like 7,000 people live together and they're all your uncle and auntie or cousin. I did not like that feeling to be in that family dynamic at all. And it was I thought it was interesting because like the house is kind of an allegory to these familiar structures, right? This joint family, and the house is decrepit and it's not built for purpose anymore, as these familial structures of co-living are not built for our purpose anymore. So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
What I did feel a bit weird about is that the Muslim character just has to deal with the bullshit and there's no resolution to it. They're like so toxic and horrible. And in a way, it does say that, you know, that's what Muslims and society has to live with. I get Muslims in India have to live with. But I was like, wait, that person that gets no joy. There's nothing out for her. And I did think that they were going to pull a Ded Ishki at the end. I don't want to spoil anything, but was there any moment when they were like, oh, they're like... but I think you'd like it if you're in for a brown.
I will watch it. I really like Sanya Malhotra. I follow her. She's like one of the few celebrities I follow on Instagram, and I really like the way her mind works. You know, like she's funny, she's smart. She's always like, it's never just like self-promotion or like ads. You know, like a lot of celebrities just do like ads, and then it's just like, look at me, I'm so awesome. where Sanya's like, let's have a laugh, and here's like a funny little skit that I directed, like that kind of stuff.
I used to follow her on TikTok, and she was nuts on it. It was amazing.
Yeah.
She's like Ayushmann Khurrana's talent, but less kind of like ego.
Asim does not like Ayushmann Khurrana.
I'm getting that.
Ayushmann Khurrana, Rajkumar Rao, like he's just
Vicky
pissing off
Kaushal.
that entire segment of like fans who are like new talent, and then they meet Asim, and Asim's like.
Oh God. Shall we do more questions? Beth, did you have anything else to say about Paglad?
I would just encourage people to watch it. I thought it was lovely.
I just want to say hi to Google Girl, whoever she is, Google Girl 25, who says that I'm the only one who looks like the way she imagined us, and all of you who are way different. So,
okay, question for Google Girl: do we look more beautiful or ugly?
Dude, this is
happiness.
Don't ask questions like that.
Why do you want to be depressed for the rest of the day, man?
Because Google Girl is gonna reply saying ugly as
Oh God. Let's move on. Next question, huh? I have here. Is this a?
And to answer Yamini, yes, Asim loves Varun.
Yeah. His eyes start shining and gleaming when you talk about Varun.
But honestly, what is even the comparison between the two? Yeah. Like, Varun is idhar. Ayushmann is idhar. Like,
Asim is like, frame me now.
Okay, so you understand. Like, there's no comparison. Okay, let's go for the next one. What have been your 3 favorite movies to revisit over Khandaan?
Ooh.
Beth, we made you watch some nonsense movies too, right?
No, not really. I think the most nonsense one was Duplicate, which I liked more than all of you. So yeah, I have I have not really experienced peak nonsense yet. But I think that's why, because you don't bring me on for those, because I didn't experience them initially. So there's no reason to pull a non-nostalgic person in for those. So P2 is your nonsense movie top friend.
Yeah. It's like she imposes them those movies on us. Like,
they become nonsense movies when Pitu arrives.
Like, we gave her the option and she would be like, yep, Daulat Ki Jang. Yep, hello brother.
Top of her head, she doesn't even need to think. Like,
for a long time, do you remember that P2's Twitter bio said something like female Sunny Deal?
Yeah.
Like that's all you need to know.
and that's like totally encapsulates her persona in just that one line.
She's going to be on in a few minutes. We can talk to her about her later. Like, it's cool.
Her love for Sunny and Bobby Paji. Yeah.
Sujoy, man, movies that you rediscovered, or because that's kind of the intro to the podcast, right? Movies we've rediscovered, we reevaluate, or we, kind of like think about that we still love. Those are the 3 categories I would put in. So did you think about which of the movies that we have done on the show, which you would put into those categories?
I think my favorite would be, obviously I had expectations that I would love revisiting Andaz Apna Apna, because I rewatched that anyway, but I didn't expect to love Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na, like the amount of love that I, experienced rewatching it after so many years. And also like the remaster available on Netflix, it was such a joy that it was still, the picture is still crisp and the songs are great. Shah Rukh shines through that movie, and it just made me feel in love with that movie all over again. I was really, really happy to watch Kabhi Haan Kabhi Na. And I think did Aditya join us for that episode?
Yeah.
I was so grateful for him to pick up that movie. How about you
For
guys?
me, I was like, Kabhi Haan, Kabhi Na, definitely. Like, and I knew that it was going to be like everyone talks about how great it is even now, but like I didn't expect it to be like that good when I was watching it.
Mm.
And then I had a good time watching Talash. Like, I liked the movie when it came out, but I really liked it upon rewatching it. I'm so sad that Rima Kagti doesn't have like a bigger career and she's not making like more movies. And I enjoyed Hello Brother actually. Like it was stupid. And when Pitu said that that's the one she wanted to do, I was like, what the hell? And then I watched that first song, and as soon as that first song happened, I was like, yeah, okay, I'm all in. Like this is incredibly stupid. And it's exactly what I needed at that moment. Would I recommend it to people? I don't know, but like I had a good time.
For those who haven't listened to that episode, it starts with like 20 minutes, like deep dive discussion on that Chandi Ki Dalpar song, and they're just Amrita and Pitu just freestyling through that whole song. the crotch shots, the tight jeans, the vest, and everything.
That song, it was amazing. And everyone should listen to that episode. If you haven't listened to that episode, it's one of my favorites.
For me, like there were a lot of movies that I had never seen, and I kind of liked watching them. Like, and I'll add Daulat Ki Jang weirdly enough to it, and even like it was so stupid, but I was kind of in it like weirdly enough, and I knew I would have a lot of content to make fun of later on. So I kind of appreciate that. And like, I mean, Hello Brother is a classic. Who's not gonna like that movie? But like even
who's not gonna like Arbaz Khan entering the frame chest first?
But also like Rakh, right? The one with Amir Khan. I would never have gone and watched that movie if it was not for the show. Also, like because of the show, I've been watching a lot more South Indian movie, weirdly enough, and those I've really appreciated, like Super Deluxe, Kumbalangi Nights, Vikram Vedha. Even like the last Surya movie, Surarai Potru, right? I would not have watched that if it wasn't for my search for content for the show and like it available on streaming, and I really, really enjoyed that journey. Movies I really evaluated that I thought they were shit, but they're actually not bad. Even No Entry comes into that category. Like, you know what it's there for, and now rewatching it, I was like, yeah, it's okay, it's fine. Even I was favorable with Chennai Express last time, which I hated. And then there are movies that were good, were always going to be good, and I just rewatched them and they're still good, like Kabhi Haan, Kabhi Na. I'm not going to come with something that you guys... I gave the pause to stress you out. But also like Bajrangi Bhaijaan, I love that movie, and revisiting again, all of those emotions came back. And that there was that meme of, stop crying, it's a movie, and somebody did Bajrangi Bhaijaan, and I could just hear Mamu in my ear. Like, such a good movie. Yes, I think we're done with that question. Shall we move on to the next one?
Can we talk about like new talent and stuff, because like people keep bringing it up in the comments.
People are going nuts in the comment section about new talent. So I think Google Girl 25 just wrote, guys, these announcements of young talent are getting weirder and weirder. For Shania, those overtly sexy photos are a bit creepy. She's what, 19?
Beth, have you seen that? Have you seen that photo shoot? That was. What did you think about it?
Yeah, I agree. It's creepy. And that, I mean, when we were talking about this with our Reka Clubhouse, like women being, portrayed in certain ways at 19 is not new, but it does seem kind of extra leering and gross now to me for some reason.
I mean, we used to have like the song, in Cars, we had the song called Main 16 baras ki, tu 17 baras ka, right? But obviously we had Tina Munim and Rishi Kapoor in that rather than actual like 16, 17-year-olds. But it's gone to a point now. I think, it is kind of gross.
I think it's just we getting older, no? Like, I think,
Totally.
like, it's what I say, you know, like, I really like Janhvi Kapoor, for example, you know, but there's a difference in how I like her now than I would have when I was like 23, right? But there's a lot of 23 people out, old people out there, man. Like, they're still alive, you know? And for them, I mean, this is probably what works for them, you know?
No, go ahead.
No, I was done. I was just going to rant.
No, like I honestly feel like there's also the fact that we see a lot of these kids on social media, like on Instagram and stuff. You don't even have to search for it, you know, like the stands will get all the videos and stuff and put it on Twitter and stuff. And you'll just automatically, organically come across these videos of them like practicing their moves, you know, at home and stuff. And they're kids, they're babies. They move like babies. Their faces are like babies. And then all of a sudden they're in like bikinis and, you know, Karan Johar's like, here's your next sex symbol. And you're just like, ew, gross. Like, I don't want to see a baby in a bikini. Like, that's horrible. So I don't know, like, maybe it is like, there is something to what Asim said about us getting older. And like, I have a lot of problems. Like, so I have a reading channel and I talk about books a lot. And one of the things that everyone talks about online is young adult fiction. And I can't do a lot of young adult fiction, especially when it's romance, because I just feel gross because it's like little children having like, you know, discovering their sexuality for the first time. And I just feel like a creep reading that, you know, and it's not meant to be creepy. And, you know, it's for the age appropriate crowd. I bet it's wonderful. But I'm not age appropriate for that. And I can't do it. And I feel that way about, and also because like back in the day when we had like launch vehicles like Betab and stuff, it used to be two people who were age appropriate for each other. So Sunny Deol and Amrita Singh. And then they're being like innocent and, you know, cute with each other. And now it's just them being like weirdly explicit, you know, like the dance moves, the costuming, the stories. And I'm turning into my mother.
Like actresses debuting very early is not a new thing anyway. Like Ashanti, a friend of our podcast, she commented or texted me saying Sridevi was 17 when she debuted. Divya Bharti was like really young.
Rekha too, right? Wasn't Rekha super young?
Shri was actually like 13 or something when she did her first lead, and that was opposite like a grown-ass man. Like it wasn't even like a, you know, like an age-appropriate co-star. It was like, it was terrible. But the thing is, like, just because terrible things happen in the past, that's not an argument for it to be right to the future, you know?
Well, we have so many more places for people to be gross now, too. Right? It's not about a particular movie. It's... like it's Instagram, it's whatever, like it's kind of free form exhibitionism that they're being told to do by someone who I'm sure is older and more powerful and grosser. So it's really a mess.
Actually, this was going to lead the next question that was asked by one of our listeners is, who has been your favorite launch male or female in the past 20 years? And I was thinking about that, you know, like, I think, speaking of launches, like we saw some great launches in our day, right? Like, you know, like
kids. There's a story.
Gather around.
like we know you were talking about like Sunny Deol, Bobby Deol, Hrithik Roshan, even like Akshay Khanna. These were some big ass launches, and now you have like Sara Ali Khan, Ishan Khattar, like these are not like, they kind of like, oh, like artsy movie banate hain, you know, that kind of thing. And it's like, what is this nonsense, you know? And you want like a full, you know, brazen full marketing attack. And the only one that does it is Dharma. And they just like drop the ball every time. Even Varun and Alia, that was not a good launch, right? Everybody hated Alia. Varun was like a douche. And then the second movie is like, oh, okay, now we see what Karan Johar saw. But as a launch, it was not a good launch at all.
Actually, there's one other filmy family that still does like mega launches, and that's the Diols. And it cracks me up because like
No. This is a conversation when we should have with
Pitu.
yeah, we have it with Pitu. Keep it on the back burner. Ask him like when Pitu comes on. We need to talk about this because
like,
oh my
Pitu,
god.
sit down. Let's talk about the deals.
But like, yeah, like I think Deepika was an amazing launch, and Anushka Sharma, I thought that was kind of a good launch too.
But if you are going back 20 years, then Hrithik Roshan comes into that as well, because obviously Kaho Na Pyar Hai was released in 2000.
Huge.
But like my kind of favorite launch, it would be a female launch, is Vidya Balan in Parinita, because that movie just blew me away. Like that, it was kind of my first multiplex movie experience. Because I come from a very small town where you used to go watch movies in like single screen cinema, and the sound was not as great as a multiplex. And I saw that in an Inox in Pune, and that completely blew my entire, like everything. It, like the sensory overload that movie is, from, you know, the cinematography, the songs. Saif is so good in that, and Pradeep Sarkar. So that's probably the best work that Pradeep Sarkar has done. And like that launch, Vidya Balan is the hero in that movie. She's like, she's amazing in that.
Any launches that you guys liked, Amrita, Beth?
Beth?
I was thinking about this, and I just keep thinking of the bad ones, and Student of the Year is really just like, so Amrita, I saw that on a plane on my way to Delhi, where we met up at the airport, and on the taxi to the hotel, we were just talking about Student of the Year and how bad it was. But like that, I just like, how could it was remarkable, the difference between clearly what Keijo saw in them, which we all understand now, and what got put in to that final product. You know, like how could someone experienced as he is mismanage that so badly?
So I remember doing the year-end Bollywood podcast with Beth and Get Filmy many years ago, and she chose Shakila. She chose Student of the Year as her pick of the year, because it's like it's everything she wanted and she got it. You know,
she does love her filming.
Shakila Get Filmy is years ahead of us always.
Yeah,
she's not the finger.
I bet she's already has. I bet she already has like 100 bitcoins or something. You know, she bought it at one.
I was gonna say she doesn't have the finger on the pulse. She is the pulse. Like that's.
What I remember the most about Student of the Year is that nobody could tell Siddharth Malhotra and Varun Dhawan apart throughout that launch.
It's so funny in retrospect. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, like in retrospect, you look back and you're like, wait, those two don't look anything like each other. But Dharma like airbrushed the F out of them and then like packaged them. Like they were basically like living Ken dolls throughout that entire like promotion. And nobody could tell them apart. And then what I remember is like the day that I recognized Varun by himself was like a paparazzi picture. And I swear to God, guys, this is a real thing. I know that picture exists somewhere out in the wild, but it was Varun coming out of like a hotel or club at night. And he, honest to God, had highlighted his eyebrows. And it was clear that he had also like waxed or plucked or threaded them. So it was just this perfect arc with like, you know, with like highlighter underneath it. And I was like, wow. Who is that guy?
He went to Preeti Patel's eyebrow guy. Is that
Paresh writes his favorite is Harman Baweja's launch in Love Story 2050. And I totally see that Paresh is throwing shade at Harman Baweja. It's not his favorite.
Paresh is basically kicking a dog when he's already dead. Like, please let him die, the poor guy.
But I think the one that we all have not mentioned yet is Ranveer Singh in Band Baja Bharat.
That was a great one.
True.
That was good.
Yeah.
I have to say something nice about Ranveer.
No, I was thinking, was it a launch? Like, you know, when we talk about Hrithik, like, I think it wasn't a launch necessarily. Almost feel like it was more of a relaunch of Anushka. Then, like, Ranveer, his star power just kind of like blew up that it could not be contained, and I don't think anybody saw it coming. Like, I don't think Yashraj saw it coming. I don't think the director or the writer saw it coming. He just went full hardcore, and he was a star, right? I don't think it was a launch though. That's why I was that's what I was thinking about. Like, even Tiger Shroff, that wasn't really a launch. Yeah, Hero Panti, was that a launch? Like, it's
Tiger's funny because like we saw years of him doing like parkour on the beach, like Bombay Beach. Like anytime a paparazzi would like pass a Bombay beach, there would be Tiger doing like flying kicks in the air.
The same beach that Jackie, roams around in Rangila in the full suit.
And then I find it interesting that nobody's mentioned Ranbir when like Ranbir and Sonam had one of the biggest launches in Savaria. Like everybody was talking about it, and then
Om Shanti Om just ate it.
Yeah,
just like absolutely killed it.
Shekhar in the comments is saying a few folks already discussed Om Shanti Om. We have a very long ass episode on Om Shanti Om. Do check it out if you haven't.
Okay, next one. Shall we move on to the next question?
Actually, Google Girl had a good question. Like since we're talking about like Band Baja Barat and everything. Wait, I can't. Where is it? Do you think Bollywood rom-coms are not good? Oh no, it was Zombies Queen. Sorry. Do you think Bollywood rom-coms are not good anymore too? Like all my favorite rewatches are from before 2010, and I wanted to know if I was the only one who felt this.
I think it's not a Bollywood problem. It's a general problem. Rom-com as a storytelling format is not something that really works anymore. And it's sad because they're like, what was the last good like rom-com? Like I'm thinking, and I'm probably saying Bareilly Ki Barfi. Is that a rom-com even? Like Jab We Met?
Yeah, Jab We Met is, more than 10 years ago.
Yeah. That's a long time.
Yeah. Because Hollywood has all of those like Kate Hudson, Mila Kunis.
I really liked Always Be My Maybe on Netflix. The Ali Wong.
Yeah.
That was like really funny and cute.
Oh
But and there's also this one I haven't watched. Well, actually, I don't know if it's a rom-com because I haven't watched it. But
Rohit Khanna says Bareilly Ki Barfi felt like a 2010s Sajan.
So much less poetry, though. It couldn't possibly.
Actually, a couple of people are mentioning Hasi To Fasi, and I think like Beth also loves it, right?
Yeah, love that movie.
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Is it a rom-com though? Like, kind of.
Kind of.
It's got a pretty big.
Paresh
right about mental illness to be a rom-com.
Paresh is out to troll us. Like
he really is.
Houseful 3 was a
We are not surprised. Oh, Uday, I agree with that. Karib single. Yeah, that's a rom-com.
That's old people though, right, Uday?
Yeah, they're our age.
Doesn't count, Uday. That's old people.
I'm sorry, old people. Like, have you taken a look at us? Like, who are we?
You need young people in a rom-com. That's how it works. We're not talking about the whatever that Bridges of Madison County is not a rom-com.
You need to watch As Good As It Gets and the other one. Well, a lot of Jack Nicholson, like later Jack Nicholson.
And Kathy Bates. What was that movie about Schmidt?
Oh yeah, but About Schmidt was kind of sad, wasn't it?
It's been so long.
I feel like it was really sad at the end or something. I don't know.
Shall we move on to the next question?
Yes.
Or do
talk
about this a little bit
more?
Okay. See, this is where the one that's doing the work is doing the work.
Pitu has joined.
Pitu!
Okay, I'm gonna bring her to the stream. Let's see.
I love that when Sujoy is like doing work. It's like Pitu Mate. Hi.
Can you hear us?
Hi. I was like, my name is showing up, but where is my Thobra? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but why is your West Coast internet like on dial-up?
Hi, Beth.
Like you are literally on like one
I
frame
don't
per
know.
second.
The problem, I think, is with the fact that I'm very technologically challenged. I don't know. I'm a very technologically challenged person. I don't understand anything. I'm old, and I'm like that old woman from Titanic. I'm that person.
Yeah, it's much better actually now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought P2 would have our kapow with P2 setup, but like
Because I'm
this is
sitting next to the router.
sit on the router. P2 sit
This is
on
the
the
horror
router.
version, the Japanese Ringu movie version.
So we already have questions for P2 before P2 even joined up, right?
Yeah. Like
God.
people are attending this just because of Pitu.
No,
Yay.
we wanted to ask your feelings about the Deol launches. That's one of the questions, right? So a question was, what have been your favorite star launches in the last 20 years? And I mentioned that, Bobby Deol was an amazing launch, Sunny Deol was an amazing launch, but
It's not Bobby,
Amrita
it's Booby. It's Booby
Booby,
Deol.
yeah. So what do you think about how the Deols launch their stars, their progeny?
I love the way that Sunny Paji was launched because, of course, it's Sunny Paji. So that was phenomenal. And Betab is one of my favorite movies. It was the best. Booby's launch was also good. But Karan Deol, it was very difficult. It was like watching an animated paratha on TV. It was like watching a commercial where a woman is like rolling out a paratha, and then they like give life to it, they animate it, and then he comes on screen and does songs and dances. So it was very difficult to watch. And because of my Sunny Paji love, I watched every single show on which Karan Deol was invited as like a guest, like the Dance India dance type of things, because Sunny Paji accompanied him to everything. So I watched all those shows, and Sunny Paji was adorable, and Karan Deol is just like this. And I'm like, why are you torturing me? Like, I want to root for you. I want to root for the Deols, but you're making it very hard to root for you. So it was a moral dilemma.
I just want to point out that everyone in the comments had the same thought, which is that Pitu is secretly
Why is
Bollywood.
everyone so silent?
And then, as Yamini said, like honestly, I thought Bollywood was
What?
Pitu's brainchild until I realized that if it was actually Pitu, it would have been a Sunnywood instead.
Fair point.
Do you even know the handle of Bollywood? Because it's more of a Twitter thing, Pitu. Is that on Insta too or not?
No, I think it's a Twitter thing.
Twitter, I think. It's so good.
Pitu's internet
Pitu's
is really...
on dial-up. Yeah, Pitu's on dial-up. Pitu, are you on your phone? Because like right now we can see your face moving, but there's like no sound.
She's also on mute, by the way. Pitu pressed the mute
And you're
button.
also on mute. क्या कर रही है? क्या कर रही है, Pitu?
She's still on mute.
It's Keijo coming after us for having insulted Student of the Year.
I don't know, but Pitu, you're on mute. Now you're not on mute.
But we still can't hear you.
My mic is no longer muted. I'm not going to touch anything. I'm very scared now.
But why? But why is
we are all being cursed. You all are being cursed because you cursed the Deols.
We didn't. You did.
Can I just say that yesterday I noticed that Dharmendra's profile picture on his Twitter is...
My computer wasn't working, and then I got on my phone. I don't understand. Why can't... what did I do?
Oh.
I think that's why your feed is like so sucky. It's because you're on your phone. Like it works better on your laptop. I think that's what it is.
Can you
I'm going to leave and try to rejoin because
let's do that.
I don't know what's happening. I'm going to leave and
laptop and then come back. Yeah.
Beth,
that
what were
didn't
you saying about Dharmendra's
Oh,
profile pic?
I just noticed yesterday that Dharmendra's official profile picture on his official Twitter is Dharamveer.
Oh.
Like he knows. He was there. He knows.
Asim, have you seen it? Have you seen Dharamveer?
Yeah, I love Dharamveer.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I do.
Speaking of Bolly.
Weirdly, I was thinking of Jitendra while I was making eggs this morning. I don't know why. Like, how has Jitendra not been like embroiled in some kind of toxic?
He has
backstory?
no. His cousin sued him for like assaulting her or something back in the day.
Oh, oof,
His cousin?
Yeah, she said she was like when they were like he was I think he was already an adult, but she was like really young, and maybe she's his niece or something, his cousin or his niece,
Still.
and like somebody in his family basically. And it happened like a couple of years ago, and she filed a case against him and everything. And,
Only a couple of years ago, not like even like in the yesterday, karib single years.
Like 70s mein kaun sunta hai? Like nobody, like you go and like, हाँ Jitendra touched me inappropriately. They'll be like, he's Jitendra, you go home. You know, like that's not gonna happen. So obviously.
Yeah. Yes, I was making it with egg whites. Yes, I was. Okay, let's go to the next question. I like this question. What's a Khan movie you'd like to see remade with younger talents?
I want to say Karan Arjun. I want to say Karan Arjun remade with younger talents. Like I feel like that would be
Okay. Pitu has joined. Hello, Pitu. But
I want everyone to know that Pitu is actually in like right next to like Silicon Valley.
yeah.
But it looks like Kuka's cave. That's right. Let's keep going. If she joins, she joins. No, by the way, I also thought of it that we've not set up QuickTime for Beth or Pitu, so it's just us recording. So I don't even know how we're going to be doing that. But anyway, yes. Who would you cast in the Karan Arjun remake? Have you thought of that though?
I would love it with like Ranbir and Ranveer, because I feel like everyone wants to see the two of them in a movie together, and this would be like a really good project for the two of them to come together.
Who would play who?
I think Ranbir for Salman and Ranveer for Shah Rukh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mine is Kaho Na Ho, because I think they would handle the whole. They could actually do something much, much better with the whole like, ooh, they're gay thing. And obviously, I'm sorry, Asim, but Ayushmann, I think, has to be Shah Rukh in that movie. But I would put him with Rajkumar Rao, because I just rewatched Bareli Ki Barfi, and I really like those two as co-leads, and I think they would really be great in that. And then I didn't get as far as thinking about the other characters.
And also, you cast those two together, put it on Prime. Nobody has to go and watch it, right?
You'll be safe.
Works.
And also, like for Asim, Ayushmann would have to die in the end, so that's
right.
Okay,
works for you.
I'm on board with this.
For me, it's not exactly a remake, but I would like to see the Dawn franchise move ahead. So maybe a Dawn 3 with Farhan directing, but with SRK sort of passing the baton to like Ishan Khattar or something. Or maybe, maybe his son's launch.
Sujoy is just choosing violence, because you know if like Dawn 3 comes along and it's not Shah Rukh, then all of Shah Rukhstan is like going to go on like a nuclear strike.
No, like Shah Rukh would be the Dawn.
Yeah, Farhan can't go out in public without Shah Rukh stands going like Dawn 3 kab hai? Mein Shah Rukh hi nahi hai. Like he'll just get like beaten to death. Poor thing. But I have to say though, like Shah Rukh's fans, like, you know, like if they won't go watch his movies, but they want his movies to come out on time.
Yeah.
Like I noticed, like, you know, like I forget which one it was, but like YRF released some kind of video for something, and it was the entire comment section was like, Pathaan kahan hai? Pathaan kahan hai? Pathaan kahan hai? And I'm like, why do you care? You're not going to watch it anyway. Like, what is it to you? Anyway.
I was thinking, when the question was asked, I was like, who can replace the Khans? That's the first question, right? And that is a tough one because you can find some, like Salman is easy, Varun, right? That's the easy comparison. But you can also put maybe Tiger in the fold if you want to like put in action and like, if critics can say, lesser acting talent, you put Tiger in there, right? For Amir, you have Ayushmann, right? That's a clear-cut comparison. But Shah Rukh, who do you replace Shah Rukh with? There's nobody like Shah Rukh that can just have, like, who can be romantic like Shah Rukh from the new generation?
Yeah.
Nobody, right? There's nobody. So
I mean,
that's kind of...
Paresh mentioned Ranveer, but yeah, it is far-fetched even for Ranveer, that he doesn't have the chops, I don't think.
वो cheaper type love है थोड़ा, cheaper type.
As you said, like, chichora hai wo.
Yeah. So the few movies that I thought of is like either you can remake some like B-grade action movies of Salman's. Something like Baghi could be really fun. Like that story trope of going into like this gang of like pimps and taking the woman that you love out with like college friends. I think that could be fun, but you don't need a Tiger to do that. You need like an Ishan Khattar to do that. Like some slighty physique kind of guy, like when Salman was at that time.
Yeah.
Or the other ones I was also thinking like, but these movies I want to see them remade because that era of movie doesn't exist anymore. Like something like Mangal Pandey or Parampara, those movies, they don't make those movies anymore. And I think revisit him could be fun, but also I've not watched these movies in a long time, so I don't know what they would be like.
I was about to say, like, nobody wants to see. There's a reason why nobody makes Parampara and Mangal Pandey anymore. Like,
we kind of talked about it. We kind of talked about it in the Thugs of Hindustan podcast, right? Saying like we see the clear influences of Dharamveer in that movie, and that did not work. Like Thugs didn't work.
Yeah.
Because obviously the marketing was supposedly, this is going to be the next Pirates of Caribbean or whatever.
So that's my other category of things that can be remade is movies that weren't great the first time around, but can be remade in something better. Pitu is trying again. Let's see if she makes it.
She's freeze frame in a different position now.
She is like the Ringu girl. Appears every 7 days. Somebody will die on this live stream.
Don't even, Hassan.
Yeah, the comments are calling for a Suryavanshi remake, and I'm with Jackie on that. Yes.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody else pointed out Anjam to be bloodier and more violent. I don't think we need violence against female to be a new thing.
But Dar, like the stalkingness of it and put it online, that could work, that kind of thing.
Yeah, I suppose.
I don't want to watch it, but it can be remade, right? Like, but also like, I was thinking Ram Jane, like that could like reimagine it now.
Amrita's reaction face.
I just realized we haven't actually seen. So Joy has been pitching Ramjane to the podcast for like a year now, when we haven't gotten around to it. We've always found another excuse.
And Badsha as well.
I'll watch those with you.
Yeah.
And both could be remade.
Yeah.
We might review the remakes, Joy.
I feel like if Badshah were remade, it would probably do a lot better now than it would, especially if you reimagined it as like a OTT, like a streaming service film, rather than like a multiplex kind of film. I think like it would really work.
Man, that cupcake is good.
People love Badshah. I love that.
Yeah. Do we want to move on?
Yes, let's move on to the next question. Views around the scandals around the Khans. I don't know if I want to talk about that, to be honest.
Do we want to plug our other thing?
Yes.
Okay.
So after this, we're going on a break. One more thing we're doing is we're going on our friend Harun Rashid's podcast, Beyond Bollywood. We're recording it this Tuesday.
Yeah.
And it's going to be about scandals of the Khans and cancel culture. So I think we're going to put our thoughts on there on Beyond Bollywood. So I think we're going to cover that there. Plus, isn't it cool? Khandaan is going to be on the BBC. It's like,
That's great.
Kind of made it, even though we're not getting paid.
माल किधर है? माल किधर है?
पैसा चाहिए अपन को पैसा. Next one. This was.
Oh wait,
so,
Irfan says remake Salman's Veer, and I know at least 2 people on this podcast who are totally into that idea.
No, I would even go re-edit Veer. Do like a Zack Snyder release the Salman Khan cut. That there is a movie there that definitely is much better.
The Salman Khan cut, as if like Salman Khan didn't make this movie in the first place. Like,
No. There is an interview with Anil that says I should have listened to Salman's input and I didn't, and that's why the movie flopped. And Salman has done that a few times.
That's why.
He did that with Kyunke, with Priyadarshan. Priyadarshan made the same statement again. I should have listened to Salman. I didn't take his notes on board, and that's why the movie flopped. Salman knows commercial movies making. He does. What are we doing?
Why are we not celebrating your 100th episode with an international tweet along of Race 3, as has been teased several times?
But
do that.
I don't know if I want to watch it again.
Have you watched Race 3, Amrita? Have you ever sat through it yet? No, are you waiting for that?
It's so fun. It's so stupid.
Okay, people in the comments, like, leave a comment if you want us to watch Race 3. And
I think there's been time enough past that I can sit through it. And I've not had a Salman movie in a while.
And we'll be together, so that will make it.
Yeah,
that'll make it good.
I would need some really high quality ganja for me to sit through Race 3.
Okay, so maybe it's post lockdown, but then we can do it.
Yeah.
Let's do the next question. Top underrated Bollywood movies that are so bad that they're good. I think we've done Ajuba. Yeah, we've done a lot on the podcast already, I think.
Yeah.
What about non-Khan ones? Are there any that you kind of think about that those are so bad they're good? The thing is, for me, I don't agree with the concepts of so bad it's good, and I don't agree with the concept of guilty pleasure in movies. If something is fun, be unashamed to just like it. And also, like, I would say like 80% of the movies that I like would fall under these categories. Movies that I like that nobody else likes, right? So a lot of Shrish Kandar movies, Tashan, Jagga Jasoos,
I wonder how Shirish Kundar feels about his #1 fan not being able to pronounce his name. Like, that is amazingly on brand.
Is it not Shirish Kundar? Shirish Kundar. What is it?
You said Khandar.
Khandar?
Yeah.
Khandar.
You said Kandar.
Kandar, like Sikandar.
No, you said that's wrong. Okay, never mind.
I'll never know. He's not making any movies anymore, so who cares, right?
Call him by his right and proper name, Mr. Farah Khan.
I like him, man. I want him to do well. What can I do, man? And then I don't like those, like those The Room movies, like Gunda and Dhoon, The Fog. Those kind of, like, people watch them and then make fun of them. It's not my thing. It's not like I can't waste 2 hours, 3 hours of my time to watch a movie that's just bad. It's just not my thing. Although I have watched and loved The Room, but I don't watch that too much. Otherwise, if that was the case, I would appreciate older movies more now because they're bad.
Asim, which is the last old movie that you tried to watch? Tell the world.
I watched 20 minutes of Angur.
Oh.
And his angurs froze after that.
Yeah, everybody's in like these shalwar kameez and saris, and I was like, what the hell, man? Like, people don't have pants. Like, also Sanjeev Kumar's hair, man. What is that?
It's a wig.
Oh,
he's got a lot of wiggery in his career.
Yeah, you guys like these old-timey movies now. Like, how do these guys get away with this nonsense, right? Like, Like if my poor Katrina Kaif does like 2 Botox, everybody's like on her for like 50 years. Sanjeev Kumar is like just like khullam khulla bad hair. He has like a whole career like kya actor tha.
Look, no one here is defending Sanjeev Kumar, I don't think.
Yeah, all those other guys too.
Beth and I are like famously like not on the Sanjeev Kumar bandwagon, but kind of known for it.
Rajat is saying Gulzar Saab wants to know Asim Bhai's location. I would beat the crap out of Gulzar, man. He can't take me in a fight. What are you even talking about? I slap him with his chappal, Gulzar.
And that's it from Khandaan podcast. We are cancelled now.
See, this is why fan interaction is not good. You cannot like let me go loose on this stuff.
Can we do like a few reactions to like trailers and things? Because like I feel like I don't know how long like Beth is going to be here for.
Yes.
I feel like.
And where is Pitu, by the way?
Yeah, where is Pitu?
Pitu guy.
Pitu is still like trying to find a internet connection in the middle of California.
She's not on WhatsApp or Skype trying to get help or something like that,
no, that would be like, you know, a logical thing to do. Pitu doesn't do logic.
Let's do some trailers. Let's do the Kangana one first. No, let's do controversy.
Thalaivi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, good that you pronounce it, man. Didn't know how to do it. Can I say it's a good trailer, right? Like if we take out of a equation that Kangana is now a poisonous venom plant, it's a good performance, clearly, right? We've always said she's like
she's here.
Yeah, because
Kangana?
you're the reason.
मैं डर गया. I was like, shit, yaar. It's a girl called
to show you
Kangana.
guys my friend. This is my friend.
Hello, friend.
We just saw her back. So this is how Indian I am. In India, when you want to make chai and you know sugar khatam ho gaya, you go to your neighbor and you knock and say, please, can I have a katori sugar? So because I'm more hi-fi, I went to my neighbor's house. I knocked and I said, can I have your like brand spanking new MacBook, please?
That's why there's like a world of difference in like everything that's happening on screen right now. People went from like 1985 to like 2021 in like one day.
Pitu, did you trade a chai for a laptop? How did you?
No, I woke up my neighbor. My neighbor was fast asleep and like banged on the door and I was like, I need your computer. And she was like, what?
Le.
Leave me alone.
Wow, Pitu.
Yeah, I'm a nightmare neighbor.
ये zombie queen चाबी क्यों भर रही है सबकी? Oh God. We were Pitu, did you see the trailer of Thalaivi?
I saw pictures from Thalaivi and the prosthetics were a bit questionable, but I liked her like makeup and stuff. I guess that's the nicest thing I can say about it. At this point, the bar is so low for me because I watched the Vimal Ilaichi ad 3 times on YouTube.
We have to talk about the Vimal Ilaichi.
I thought it was good. Like the trailer itself was good. Like, and it's funny because we also wanted to talk about the Big Bull one, the Big Bull trailer, and it's funny because I was making that casual joke that all Bollywood is going to be the biopics and like sports dramas, and we just have 2 biopics. And the thing is, I've kind of analyzed.
The Saina Nehwal one also.
Yes, that came out. I don't think anybody watched it. Right?
Yeah.
So I analyzed what makes a biopic watchable. There's 3 reasons. A, you really like the actor.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I'm going to watch Big Bull because I really like Abhishek. B, you really like the person that they're portraying on screen.
Right.
I don't know the Bull guy and I don't know Thalaivi, so I'm not. That's 1 point off. I don't know who these people are. And third is if the director or the vision is like so different or such a different way of presenting it that you have to watch it. Something like I'm thinking, okay, not really a biopic, but like Baz Luhrmann's Romeo and Juliet. Like it's such a different way of presenting it that it makes it interesting, right?
Right.
So none of Thalaivi and neither Big Bull fall under any of those categories except that I like Junior Bachchan. But
Right.
it's on a platform that I'm going to watch it. I don't know what, Hotstar or something like that.
Yeah.
So now, what do you guys think of Thalaivi? What about Beth? What did you think of the trailer? Do you know who she's portraying?
Yeah, I do. Only
do.
a little bit, but I think it looks great. I wish it weren't her who's in it, but you know, I love that kind of thing, and I don't expect it to be historically accurate for a variety of reasons. So I feel like I'll need to read up either before or after, but I think it looks like nice and juicy and dramatic.
The funny thing is, didn't Aishwarya essentially portray Jayalalitha only in Iruvar?
Yeah.
Yeah. And I thought she did a really good job because, I mean, I only know Jayalalitha as a politician, but I can totally imagine her dancing like this cabaret number, like, hello, Mr. Ekkacha, whatever. I mean, I thought she was good in that. So that's kind of like my understanding of Jayalalitha. So then to watch Kangana as Thalaivi is a bit of a cognitive dissonance for me. Maybe once she breaks into cabaret, it'll be fine.
Go ahead.
I think the problem with Kangana is that she can't change her accent. Like her accent work is like really poor, and so she does everything with the same like accent, and she's got that very strong like Pahadi accent. Yeah, and like no offense to like Pahadis and their accent, but like it doesn't go with like everything. You know what I mean? So she's like she's gotten better with the years, but she's still kind of awkward in her dialogue delivery sometimes, and that she's worked really hard, I feel, in this particular movie, but you can still tell, you know, like Shakila is like really anti this movie, like Get Filmy, and she was talking about how like who was it like did a better job, like she was talking about like she said that Alia did a better job working on her diction and her accent in Gangubai than Kangana did in Thalaivi. But I feel like the story of Jayalalitha is incredibly cinematic. Like that's a amazing story, and all of it is true. You know, I don't know how much they're planning to like fictionalize, but even if they went exactly like beat by beat of like what happened with Jayalalitha, it's amazing. You don't have to like the woman or her politics or anything. Like just her story alone is amazing to just follow. So I hope they do a good job of it. You know, like I'm never actively rooting for a movie to fail, even though this one does have one of my least favorite actors in it.
I mean, when it comes to performance, Kangana is a really good actress, but it's definitely very, very difficult to dissociate her off-screen persona from everything because she's just so toxic. Like her entire online presence is so toxic, and we have access to that whether we want it or not, and that's why it becomes so difficult to, you know, like her movies. But I did enjoy her last movie, which was Panga, and I think I will be watching Thalaivi just to see how it plays out. But I have one problem from, you know, it's to do with what Pitu mentioned with the makeup department, right? When they show her when she becomes more overweight.
And all that.
Yeah, the cheeks and all. And they've done that with Vidya in The Dirty Picture. It just looks like they've just, you know, inserted some cotton in her mouth and made her cheeks swell, and it doesn't look right. It just it doesn't look right. So
but Vidya also put on a lot of weight for Dirty Picture, and man, woman has guts. Like, you know, those scenes where she's wearing those really skimpy tops and the really low lehengas or half saris or whatever, and all the flab is just, I was like, wow, this is like an A-list top actress. And I mean, I loved
Rani did too. Rani in
Heyram.
No,
okay.
Not in Aya. Aya is like she's in incredible form in Aya. She's got like a banging body in Aya.
Yeah.
She's belly dancing in Aya.
Yeah.
I thought she put on like
good
weight
at
for that
that.
one. No, I'm not saying good or bad. I'm saying she put on weight for that role. Did she not?
Yeah.
Okay. You know that tweet when sometimes women send like, I can change him? I have that thing with Kangana, like the more toxic she gets. I was like,
No. Don't
try to fight battles you can't win.
Her and Preeti Patel, both.
Awesome. When will you?
I like challenges.
Asim roadkill, but Kangna will be Kangna. You can't change crazy.
I don't know. I feel.
But listen, while on the subject of biopics, can we please talk about Gangubai Kathiawadi? Because I feel like I am the only person who's excited about this movie, and everyone around me is like poo-pooing it and they're like, whatever. So I just like, you're excited about it too, right?
We all.
Good. Okay, good. Then I'm hanging out with the wrong people because everyone's like, oh, she looks like a baby. She looks so childish.
Pitu. Welcome to Khandaan.
No, I like that Pitu is saying that I'm hanging with the wrong people just after she got a free laptop. Like 30 seconds.
After I woke up my neighbor. No, but you know that scene where it's like she's in that white sari and it's just her back and those ladies are like cheering her or whatever. And then she just turns around and she has this wicked, like I'm so wicked kind of look on her face. I was like, every time I see her, I like cheer a little bit.
No,
I'm just excited in a while.
No, I thought it looked good, the trailer overall. Like I think the best way to watch a Sanjay Leela Bhansali movie is in a trailer because you get random shot looking pretty composed and all that. I don't know how the movie will be. I think a lot of people were arguing about her accent again. Everybody's always on about the accents, you know, like be a Katrina Kaif fan, then all accents are not a problem anymore, you know, be like me. You know,
Alia's accent?
Yeah.
No,
okay.
because like she sounds very like she doesn't have that very like authentic like Marathi accent, I guess. Like that's what, because she's supposed to be from like Mathura and everything.
She's from a village in Gujarat.
Acha, so then she doesn't have a Gujarati accent. Like that's what it is.
Yeah. I'm just glad she's speaking in her usual helium tone and like she's speaking in that low tone. She's like, "Kisi se nahi darne ka." I'm like, yeah.
When she says "Kisi se nahi darne ka," all I can like think is like Supriya Pathak doing the same thing in Ram Leela.
I was thinking female Nana Patekar.
No, I was thinking
Nana Patekar in a sari. My husband just rolled his eyes and like left the room because he was so disgusted.
No, I was thinking Nawazuddin, like tere baap ka, tere chacha ka, tera sabka badla lega na tera Faisal.
I'm excited about this movie. I want to
I'm living that Pitu, you just said that female Nana Patekar said by female Sunny Deol herself.
Yes, exactly.
Which other trailer do we want to talk about?
Can we talk about the Vimal Elaichi one?
Yes.
By the way,
it is the cinematic event of the year, I feel.
How are we supposed to take an award ceremony seriously that is Vimal Elaichi Awards? Like, how does that work, first of all?
We can. We've accepted Dant Manjan, which is like toothpaste for those of you who don't know. We've accepted all of that. What is so wrong about this? We've accepted suiting, shirting and everything. I just have one question, which I'm not sure if I want answered, but I'm going to ask you all because today I'm playing with fire. And that question is, does Vimal Elaichi contain nicotine or not?
It should.
I don't know.
Okay, fine.
I mean, it's shot in London.
Because I'm like heavily judging Shah Rukh and questioning my love for Shah Rukh for doing this ad and stooping to Ajay Devgan's level. But the way I was like trying to rationalize, because this is what fans do, I was trying to rationalize by saying, I don't think it has nicotine. I think it's just like a time pass snack.
You know, like when McDowell's have to advertise in India, they are not allowed to advertise with alcohol, so they do like club soda McDowell's #1. So it's like that. Vimal Elaichi, but actually they're trying to sell Vimal, the brand which makes pan masala or something.
But I don't understand. Like, you are Shah Rukh Khan. Why are you doing an advertisement for Gutka?
2020 has been tough for everybody, guys. They have to pay the bills.
But Shah Rukh clearly wants to sell out for whatever, right? Like that's always been his motto. Like I'll just sell out and then the movie can come out and I won't get paid for the movie and all that. So so wait a minute. So the Ajay Shah Rukh ad is the same ones that are doing the Filmfare Awards. That's the same brand.
So I think that's why Shah Rukh did it, because it's a package deal. Like I think he's probably hosting or something. And if you're hosting, then you obviously have to appear in the sponsors' ads or whatever.
But you're Shah Rukh, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do.
Yeah, that's what he
Really?
Pesa.
I just thought the blue screen was so realistic looking, now.
Backslash S.
Also,
Yeah,
is Shahrukh supposed to be like Pied Piper or something? It's like Ajay Devgan is like one bloodhound. No, Pied Piper is nice. But it's like it's either like a search and rescue op where like Ajay Devgan is like a bloodhound and he's trying to search for Shahrukh, or it's like he's Pied Piper and Ajay Devgan is like a mouse, but like he's chasing him through the city, and I was just like, who came up with this ad? Usko jute maro.
I wrote down the lyrics. Basically, they're saying like, I miss my
Country and all, yeah.
and desh ki mitti ki khushboo hai in the ilaichi of pan masala. What the
Desh ki mitti does not smell like nicotine. I'm sorry.
Because
I think it's a tobacco factory, then it's fine.
Because he's following those flowers, na? Like he's following flowers, and I thought he's following Pan Ki Pichkari in London.
It's not even flowers.
It's hearts, isn't it?
It's basically alphabets
It's like an
of
Alphabet.
You know that cartoon where like there's that skunk and the skunk is like following the smell of flowers through the forest. I forget which cartoon it was, but it was like
Pepe
that
Le
was
Pew.
basically it was Pepe Le Pew. That's exactly who it was. And I thought that was that. But somebody on Twitter said that it was basically Ajay Devgan recreating Hum Dil De Chuke Sanam, but with like Shahrukh playing Maria.
That's brilliant, actually.
Yamini just wrote in the chat saying it's a DDLJ throwback and it should have been Shahrukh throwing Ilaichi towards the pigeons in Trafalgar Square.
I have to say, like, Twitter's meme game was on point with this thing. Like, everyone had like 1,000 gifs of like Kajol sitting in the Let's be clear, like this ad is basically saying that Ajay and Shahrukh are like made for each other. And they're totally doing it, right? Like that's what we're supposed to think. That these two men are like 100% doing it. So yeah.
Ajay wishes he could get a Shahrukh. Level pe aatu, level pe.
Oh dear. Jackie says, I thought it was an ad for Red Chili's VFX.
No, I feel like Red Chili's does much better VFX.
They do better than that. They can do better than that.
This is like Zoom, like a Zoom
I was just
background.
looking at the ad again, and there's a shot where they have an American highway sign in the background with the British license plates on the cars in the foreground. Like,
What?
yeah,
It's all over the place.
yeah, like there's an entry to there's an interstate sign for the Reagan Expressway in Amsterdam Avenue. I'm like, I don't think that's in London, probably.
Wow.
Yeah.
amazing.
Shall we talk about the awards themselves too? Did they happen, right? People won shit?
Yes.
Does anybody have a list somewhere?
I have the list. I sent to you guys on WhatsApp. See, I'm prepared as well sometimes.
Yeah. No, I thought you did. I'm just kind of trying to find it where it is.
How did they have the awards? Like, we didn't have any movies come out. Like,
I think they had it on Zoom or something.
Wait,
That's
can I
kind
put
of
this
sad.
in the chat or not?
I remember when we were in like junior college, my cousin and I would actually sit up and watch the Filmfare Awards because it was so exciting. It was like Filmfare Awards night, and we would watch like the whole red carpet and the speeches and everything. And after a while, it just
they used to call the red carpet as curtain raiser event.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Interview people. But you know, it was also so funny because it used to be so like simple back then, and they would wear such ordinary clothes. Like all these like stars would basically roll out of home just wearing like very simple like salwar kameezes and like makeup, and like Kajol shows up in a ponytail and Kareena Kapoor's hair is barely brushed. And now it's like everybody's in ball gowns and looking so fancy, and it's not fun anymore.
I posted the link for the award list, by the way.
Okay.
So the problem with that link is though that you don't know who the nominees are. You only see the winners.
Oh, yeah. I don't think they have posted any nominees anywhere. Let me check.
Yeah, okay, weird. Yeah, even on the Filmfare site, they have not done it, weirdly enough. Okay, so let's go over a few of these, no?
Yeah, for sure.
Let's do, so yeah, it's hard when we don't know what else was nominated. But best
Here
film...
are the nominations. I'll put them in.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
Okay.
How stupid of Filmfare to not to put the nomination on their website, though.
They do.
Where?
Where's Amrita?
Here, I sent the chat.
Amrita, do I add you back? Oops. What did she say?
She said she'll be off for a sec.
Okay.
Okay, so what one here? Best film. Shall we do that one first?
Where is the list?
Best,
nominees?
just posted it.
It's in private chat.
In the private chat.
Oh, okay.
I'll put it in YouTube also.
Thank you, Beth.
Sure.
So, everybody got him in front of them?
Yes.
Yep.
So, best film was Gulabo Sitabo, Gunjan Saxena, Ludo, Tanhaji, and winner is Thappad.
Oh.
Yeah, what a lame year, man. If this is
Very
the best we
lame.
have.
Yeah.
Like, how is Gunjan Saxena and Tanhaji and even Ludo? I like that movie, but why would it like this? These movies would not be in this category if every movie had come out, right? Like,
No way.
undeserving.
Thappad was good though. I like Thappad.
Yeah, Thappad was really good. And why is Bulbul not nominated?
Right.
Bulbul was awesome.
So good.
Yeah.
Bulbul was so good. Yeah, why
Bulbul
wasn't it
isn't-
nominated?
It's not nominated for anything.
Is it like a technicality? Like it's not like a movie. It's like
Oh,
a
Ludo
short film or
was
something.
there.
Is there some like random reason like that?
I think Ludo wasn't made for streaming per se.
Oh.
Because Bulbul was
since-
made for streaming.
Netflix, yeah.
maybe that's why-
Same with like Gulabo Sitabo, Gunjan Saxena. They were all just Netflix premieres, wasn't it?
Okay, justice for Bulbul.
Yeah.
That was really good.
So good.
Okay.
But Thappad good winner, I think. Even when we were doing our best of the year, we were all kind of like Thappad is worthwhile, one of the best movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amrita, we were just going over the nomination and saying that Bulbul was not even nominated, which is a travesty. I don't understand this. And also these movies, like the nomination, looking at them, it's like these movies would not be nominated in any other day. If it was a normal release schedule. What have the critics voted for? It's going to be something boring, right?
Ibaleu.
Yeah, Ibaleu, best film, and then Kamyab.
I think like Sujoy watched Ibaleu, right? Like, has anyone else watched?
Oh, I haven't even heard of it.
It's on Netflix.
Oh,
It's about bandars.
okay.
Yamini says Bulbul won in the Filmfare OTT Awards. Like,
Okay.
Shruti Zimri won Best Actress, and then
Okay.
Thappad won 7 awards.
Okay.
I mean, I like Thappad, but 7 awards is a bit excessive.
Sir got nominated. Loot Case. Still hearing a lot about Loot Case. No, like I've not seen it, but it's I'm
I
kind of
couldn't even finish it. It was so hyped, and everyone kept telling me Loot Case is the best thing ever. And I actually really like Kunal Khemu, so I was like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And it had Rasika Dugal also, and she's really good too. And I watched like 15 minutes, and it was so slow and so boring, and I lost patience. But people were raving about it, so maybe I'm just like made for like bad movies, and I just don't like good ones.
But you like Gunjan, right? Like, I feel like you like Gunjan Saxena.
I did a lot.
But like award worthy, best of the year worthy, you think? That good?
For 2020, maybe. But no, I mean, no, probably not.
Okay, so Ibaleu we've not seen. Sujoy is gone, so we don't know. Best actor, yeah, Irfan. I mean, yeah, of course.
Of course.
Makes
Sorry,
sense.
what were you guys saying about?
We were saying that best actor Irfan won. Oh no, we were asking Ibaleu to you that won the best movie critic award, and you're the only one that saw it. So we were wondering, if that you think that's a deservedly good award.
Yeah, for sure. It's a really good movie.
Asim said it's about bandars. Is that true?
It's more about the Bandar Charmer.
Oh, okay.
Bandar to tha
Asim,
na.
I have no faith in you.
Bandar to tha na. There was a bandar. अब बंदर अंदर है या बाहर है, मैं क्या करूं? Like,
Do you remember Dunstan Checks In? There was a 90s movie
Oh
with
God,
a
yes.
chimpanzee,
That was like
and it was
everyone
dubbed in
is so
Hindi, and it was released in my tongue, and
Oh,
the
I know.
name was Ek Bandar Hotel Ke Andar.
Yeah,
Just some random
I love the
trivia.
title.
yeah.
I watched Sixth Sense in Hindi in India because I was desperate to watch it and it was sold out everywhere. And we just couldn't get tickets. My mom and I couldn't get tickets to watch it. And then my mom said, she looked in the paper and she said, oh, there's a Hindi theater. They only show Hindi movies and they're showing Sixth Sense. I'm like, but Sixth Sense is like an English movie. So why are they showing it? She said it's probably dubbed. So it's like, I don't want Sixth Sense. I don't want to watch it dubbed. The problem is in India, like all my friends were assholes. Are we allowed to say asshole in YouTube live? I don't know.
Yeah,
All
fine.
my friends were assholes. So I was like, if I don't watch Sixth Sense by the time that college starts, everyone is going to give everything away. So it's fine to watch it in Hindi. So my mother and I went to the theater. I'm like dragging my feet. And my mother stands at the ticket line and she said 2 tickets. And they said, "Kaun sa picture, madam?" And she was like, Sixth Sense. And I was like, aisa koi picture nahi. I'm like, see, nothing. Let's go home. And then the guy said, 6 o'clock show, we have got, what? भूतों की कहानी बच्चे की जुबानी. Like 6 o'clock we're showing भूतों की कहानी बच्चे की जुबानी. You want tickets to that? My mother's like, yes, that is the one. That is Sixth Sense. So we watched the entire movie dubbed in Hindi, and listening to Bruce Willis in like a Hindi voice was crazy. And the Haley Joel Osment, they didn't choose a child to dub for him. I think they chose a young woman, so the voice was very sweet and high pitched. It was the shittiest thing ever. Like I was laughing through it, and my mother and I were like, "What the hell just happened?" But yeah, but it was a good experience. So I also watched I Know What You Did last summer in Hindi and Anaconda. I've seen Anaconda.
Yeah, I did watch Anaconda in Hindi as well.
I have the VCD. Good. It's spelled Anaconda.
I'm not even gonna touch that. Beth, does Leroy want to be in the live show as well? I feel like
maybe, yeah, we'll see.
Okay, moving on.
So best actor was Irfan. I don't think we want to talk too much about that. That's sad. Makes sad.
Yeah.
Critics, best actor in a leading role, Amitabh Bachchan, Gulabo Sitabo. Well, I guess that makes sense. I'm worried. Like, I feel like it's funny for Kamyab because that seems to be like kitty litter for critics, and it didn't win much, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Are you saying it wasn't Kamyab?
Do you mean catnip and not kitty litter?
Oh yeah, that's the one. Me and animals, na.
I was listening to what Asim said, and I was like, there is something
Something's
wrong
not
with
right
that
here.
sentence.
I'm basically feeding shit to cats. That's what I'm doing in the way I told, right? Best actor in leading female, Deepika Padukone got nominated. Janhvi Kapoor, Kangana. Kangana must be so pissed she didn't win this one. Taapsee won.
Kangana won the national award for Money.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
Fourth.
Wow.
Good.
Yeah.
For
She still
Panga.
hasn't broken Shabana Azmi's record though, because Shabana Azmi is the record holder. She has 5 national awards.
Yeah, but Shabana Azmi was not in Krish 3.
True. Shabana Azmi did not have a hot affair with Hrithik Roshan. So
See,
That we
she
know
wins in
about.
life.
the real winner,
She loses.
as always, is Kangu Mangu. Also, does Shabana Azmi get retweeted as much as Kangna does? I don't think so.
No.
Critics Best Actor in Leading Role Female, Bhumi Pednekar was nominated. Konkana, Sanya Malhotra, Taapsee Panno, Tilotama Shom, and then Vidya Balan, and she won.
Are we letting Asim read all the names out?
I feel like
What, that mathematics movie?
I'm
Yeah,
sorry, mathematics.
the Vidya Balan movie.
Vidya Balan movie.
No, I'm reading it because it's the first time I'm coming across this. So I'm like just basically like, oh, kon tha who was in there. Yeah, I'm not gonna do all of them now. Like best director is the last one I'm gonna do. Wow, Om Raut, how do you know how to pronounce? For Tanhaji won best director, man. Wow, Filmfare.
Wow.
It's truly like worth an elaichi, man. These awards. By the way, if you scroll down, look at Safe's picture in the best actor in supporting role.
That's amazing.
That's the Hitchcock angle, isn't it?
That needs to be my Twitter profile.
You've come a long way from Yunus Parvez to Tanaji.
Oh God. Yeah, I think we're done with Vimal Elaichi, no?
Yeah.
Shall we go back to questions?
Amrita looks like she was done with Vimal Elaichi in her like past life also.
I have like no patience whatsoever with these film awards, like whatsoever. Like I can't stand any of them. But they're all
You're
rubbish.
like Amir Khan. You're the lady Amir Khan.
Please, Amir only is done with it because like he didn't get it, and he was like, I put on my tux and like nobody gave it to me. Like my Kamal button
No one
from the
appreciated
side.
The Hobbit.
I'm taking my ball home and I'm not playing with you guys anymore. Okay, what is one of the next questions we had? Biggest pet peeves in Bollywood. I feel this is like a very Pitu question.
Oh God. This
Pitu.
is like Pandora's box. How long do we have? As a woman, I will say my biggest pet peeve since beginning of time and will continue. I mean, I'll be 84 years old and still complaining about it, is how stalking and harassing women is seen as romance. Pro tip, it's not. It's harassment.
No.
So,
Yes.
What about you, Sujoy? What is your pet peeve, biggest pet peeve in
So Joy is like, no, it is not harassment. It is romance.
harassment is my romance.
No. Oh,
It is
dear.
love.
Yes,
so
so
Joy,
Joy sends one letter every day to Angle Priya, and it's like, why doesn't she write back to me?
With his blood.
No. My current pet peeve, like since like the last year that has been, we've been watching so much OTT content. It's just been that, movies that need to be made just for the sake of it, and everything looks the same. The whole Netflix aesthetic of being darker and underexposed and the colors being muted, I just don't get it. Make it brighter, make it shinier, like we like it in Bollywood.
Yeah, color filter. No?
You want to Karan Johar Netflix?
Yeah, I do.
I want to Karan Johar Anurag Kashyap. Like that's like Dharma.
Yeah.
What about you, Beth?
So I like Pankaj Tripathi, but you can't put him in everything and expect him to solve the movie's problems.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's really good, but he can't fix everything, and he doesn't belong in everything. And I feel like it's pretty close to getting him into sort of Boman Irani territory, which I don't want for him. So I want
is
him
Boman
to choose.
Irani?
Right. And I haven't seen him since I saw him with Pankaj Tripathi in Drive. So
Wow.
something
Does he have like
there.
an acting studio or something like that, or am I wrong in that? Then
Don't know.
I have no idea.
Amrita, pet peeve.
Yamini is like, is Amrita's pet peeve going to be Amir's clothes forever? Papam, even when he wears little bit well-tailored clothes, she finds something off with it. When was the last time he wore something well-tailored? You tell me that. He was worn like good clothes in like one movie, and that is the one that was directed by his wife, in which he was like dressed in like a normal clothes, and it was like his pants were actually like, like below his belly button and
He
stuff
looked,
like
his
around his
clothes were
neck.
good in Lagan. He looked good in his dhoti. I mean, there wasn't much to wear, but what little he wore in Lagan fitted him well.
That is incidentally the only movie in which I found Amir hot. So I
He
will
was
give that
hot
to
in
you
that.
too. Yeah. My biggest pet peeve is like when people are like, this person is the next so and so. Because everyone's like searching for the next Shah Rukh, next Amir, next Salman, and I'm like, you're never going to find that, like. And I feel like it's a great disservice to like the younger talent because they're being forced to do things. And I feel like some of them, like Varun and Ranveer, actively play into that, and then they're just setting themselves up for failure because then anyone with a pair of eyes can see that they can't pull it off. And I'm like, don't do it, like. That remember that movie? Is it Kill Bill in which they had Govinda?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like it was funny, like it was just hilarious to me, like from the promos itself, because you had Ranveer and you had like what's his name?
Ali.
Kaunsa Ali? Like that's
I can't remember. Hang on, let me check.
Asim as the resident Pakistani.
Ali Zafar.
Ali Zafar. That's it.
Yeah, that's the one.
So Ali Zafar and Ranveer, both of whom are like very charismatic and like have lots of screen presence, right? And then they come up against Govinda, and Govinda just blows them out of the water by just existing. Like Govinda isn't even like trying hard, you know. He's just like, I'm Govinda and this is how I do my dialogue delivery. And the other two look like amateurs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's what happens, you know, like you can't go in there and be like, I'm the next so-and-so if you haven't put in that kind of work for that long. Because people like the Khans or Govinda or Anil or Jackie, they really toiled, you know, they made tons of movies that nobody has watched because they're just terrible, you know. They were doing like 3, 4, 7 shifts a day. They would just go from like film set to film set. They really put in the work, the practice, the hours, and that's why they're so good. And these kids are like, they're like very different kinds of actors. They're coming from like a film school background. They do like workshops and shit. They do like
they spend 24 hours at the gym.
Exactly. You didn't have any of that for these other older actors. So you can't compare, like it's apples and oranges. And I don't feel it serves anybody's purpose, because as an audience member, if you tell me like this is the next Shah Rukh, and then like I see like one of the younger crowd, it's automatically disappointing to me, because I'm like, where's the charisma? You know, like I don't feel the way that I do about Shah Rukh, about these people. And then it's bad for the actors, because then they just have to deal with the disappointment all the time. And, you know, it can't be good for their ego.
It's also really terrible for their career growth. Like if you look at Varun Dhawan specifically, he's done some really good work, like in October and Badapur. Like when he first came, I just sort of wrote him off as like, whatever, you know, like in Student of the Year, wow, what a great like performance. So, but then he did a really good job in those 2 films. And I was like, wow, this guy can actually act.
You're forgetting Main Tera Hero.
What?
You're forgetting Main Tera Hero.
Oh God. But like now David Dhawan keeps like remaking his old like Govinda Karishma Kapoor movies with Varun Dhawan, and they're all terrible. And I'm like, why aren't you just trying to forge your own path? Like you actually are talented. You can do these really good films, and no one's saying don't do masala movies as well. But if you just try to fill Govinda's shoes, it's going to be a disaster. So I think he's getting horrible career advice from his dad, by the way.
Even Varun liked that post, na? Like where somebody posted what your dad thinks you can do and what you can do. It's like what your dad thinks was Coolie number 2, and then what you can do is with Badlapur, and even Varun liked that.
You can do Badlapur and you're doing Coolie number 1. Why? I just don't understand it. Yeah.
So even Varun liked that tweet when somebody tweeted it. I guess Dil ki baat bol di tumne, you know, that kind of thing.
Like going back to Kill Dil though, like that could have been a big career jump for like this next innings of Govinda, and that like didn't really work, because Kill Dil obviously didn't work at the box office. But like moving forward for Shah Rukh, Salman, Amir, because we are brand Khandaan here and we talk about it, I don't know what the next move for them is. So I would like to see them in more age appropriate roles, and like, you know, make a move like Anil Kapoor has made with AK versus AK.
But what are they doing now that's not, what's Amir or Salman doing that's not age appropriate per se for you?
I mean, like, do I really want to watch? Yeah, Harfan Maula.
No, but that's a special appearance for a movie that nobody knows the title of.
Amrita's given up. Like, I don't want. Oh.
Yamini is in the comments trying to tell me that the shirt that Amir wears in Harfan Maula is actually a good fashion choice. And Yamini, go back and watch it. His shirt is at his knees. Like, what is wrong with you?
I love this filter that Amrita has over her eyes. That shirt is perfectly tailored, but for her it goes to the knees. 90 pen ke aa gaya.
Amrita, how do you feel about Amir? One of Amir's worst outfits, according to me, is that song in Dil Chahta Hai. What is that disco song? Koi Ka. He wears chocolate brown leather, skinny pants, like tight. How do you feel about those?
No, I was on Clubhouse the other day, and
Huh?
like Rajiv Khurshid was like moderating this thing about like Dil Chahta Hai, and all of them were talking about like, oh my god, like it was so fashion forward and everything. And I
Yeah,
was like, huh, okay, like when Dil Chahta Hai came out, it was like a fashion moment, right? Because
yeah.
everyone was like, oh, look at the hair, it's so funky
Especially
and everything.
pretty skirts and all. Like everyone loved
Yeah.
her outfits.
But like you look at Amir and he's wearing those stripes. First of all, like a man that short should not wear stripes. That's like the number one thing. Okay, like don't do it. Okay. Secondly, he's got this giant belt buckle. Have you noticed that belt buckle? And it's lit so that the only thing you can see is that belt buckle. And then he has all those moves where he's like thrusting with his
Yeah,
hips.
all these
It's
crotch
just
moves.
and I'm like, I do not need to see this much of Amir's crotch like ever in my life. Like, do not want.
I was seeing that song the other day. That also had that. He has the most lecherous moves in that. Do you know that song of his with Rani? Kali na gin ke
Kali.
jaise zulfi teri kali kali. His like Rani looks nice. He's like this kali kali. I'm like, how is that supposed to be seductive? He's like Sagar se wo aur Suraj ko deedi tula. He looks like he's having a seizure. And I'm convinced he thinks he looks hot in that. So I watched it on loop because I was like trying to understand, but I couldn't. It's terrible.
Yeah, yeah.
Can
And
you
it's
see
Battle of
the
the Hobbits, that song.
Can you see the ticker that is going underneath now?
Yes, a man that should not wear that.
No, but like when like this Harfan Mola business came out, like a number of people were like, "Oh, it's so amazing! Like Amir is doing this again after like a long time. Like it's exactly like Kali Nagin Jesse." And I was just like, "Kyun?" Like nobody wanted it. Like we do not want it. Anyway.
I had a few pet peeves that I wanted to mention that I haven't been talked
Yeah.
about yet.
Oh, sorry. The moment like Amir is mentioned, everything is off the rails after that. I'm sorry. Like, yeah.
So color filters I also had, like Sujoy, you mentioned those. Of actively wanting to push back and avoid classic Bollywood conventions. I'm starting annoys the crap out of me of current Bollywood. You know, like we don't want to make this, we don't want to make that, we want to only make like brown shawl, maroon sweater movies. So it's all kind of linked to that. I miss my old Bollywood. I miss my big Bollywood. I miss songs and dances and all that kind of thing. And a lot of these new want to actively push back or make it different and all that. I find it really boring, and I want old Bollywood. And that's why maybe I like Gangubai kind of coming up, because it feels like old Bollywood coming back. So that I miss. I really miss. I feel the lack of children's stories annoys me. There's no movies for children, and I'm at the, I'm at that age where I want to watch some things with my daughter, and there's nothing out there. And she also says a lot, like we were watching Tare Zameen Pe because we watched it a lot of times, and she was like, Papa, is there a movie where there's like a little girl and she has like a story around her? And except Bajrangi, I had nothing. Except unless your horrors like Makdi and Blue Umbrella and these kind of things.
I don't know if Secret Superstar is uplifting enough.
It is, but like it's
slightly
not like
older age bracket, maybe. But
it's also not like nice. Like when why is that so horrible?
It is not nice or wholesome. I mean, eventually it becomes, but no.
I feel like Bollywood has never really made that many children's movies. So, I mean, even when I was growing up, like we were watching all these Shakti Kapoor type of movies only. It's not like we ever really saw.
Like we watched Mr. India where the little girl got blown up, like
And okay, we talk about
from Mr. India. Ek din nahi khayenge to mar nahi jayenge. I used to use that on my mother. She would be like, eat your methi ki sabzi, and I'd be like, ek din nahi khayenge to mar nahi jayenge.
I also like that we always talk about Tina getting blowed up in Mr. India, but also there's Kaate Nahi Katte, which is not appropriate for anybody. Like for a kid, that song is not appropriate. But also now, more and more, another pet peeve is, and I think Irfan mentioned this, just the onslaught of anti-Muslim, anti-Pakistani content that Indian movies are now making. It's just like, how much bullshit can I watch? Like, how much toxicity do I need to be able to absorb to watch a movie? I can't watch a war movie. I can't be excited from an actor that like who's the guy from Siddharth Malhotra, right? That's the guy. Like, his next movie is going to be an army movie. I don't know what kind of anti-Muslim, anti-Pakistani nonsense they're going to put in there. I like the actor. I want to watch his movies, but I don't know what's it going to be next time. So that really sucks. And another thing that also kind of stood out for me, historical also. Historical, I don't know how they're going to do a historical, if they're all going to be Tanaji style.
But also again, with historicals, it is a more whitewashed version, more clean, more sterile, more catering to a particular narrative that they want to project. This is rewriting history in the way that the future might, when they look back at this media, this will be the story that they tell their future generations. So it's kind of that, building a narrative, steering the stories that we have heard in your age, wherever, when we were little, all these stories being told with a different lens so that it fits their narrative, and it sucks.
Yeah.
I mean, movies are like, it's not a new thought to be like, movies are propaganda, it's just that they've just really cottoned on to that in India over the past few years, and they're just really drilling down on it. And I think,
it's the full-on Nazi playbook. Like, that's nothing else, right? Yeah.
Tune in to the BBC next week to listen to us talk about these things and more.
Last pet peeve I have, that there are no songs with only women singing. Less and less. There's a few, but they've gone like, there's no Nono Chudiya anymore. Like that kind of thing.
What is Nono Chudiya?
Chandni.
Chandni? Is that not the right song?
Okay, got it. Okay. You didn't say मेरे हाथों में. I'm supposed to know it's not.
मेरे हाथों में कहाँ होती है चूड़ियाँ?
You even have to borrow your laptop.
Yeah, that's true. I get my chudiya from next door.
I think this point was made on a round table with
Anupama Chopra from Companion,
Yeah, and one of the singers made that comment, and it's really stuck in my head. Like, how is breakup song considered a duet when you only have like 2 lines from
Arijit Singh?
Jonita Gandhi sings 2 lines, and then 90% is like rap and bullshit from Arijit, and that's considered a duet. Like, how does that work? And there's also less a song with a heroine dancing, like I'm thinking of Gia or Nach De Re Sare. You need to be at that level to command a song. What's going to happen with the Ananyas and the Jhanvis and all that kind of thing? They don't want to have a song. So, or they have to.
Don't have any faith in Shania Kapoor being able to do something like GRAJ or one of those songs, or what is that song from Dil Se that Preeti Zinta made famous? Jia Jale Jaan Chale. You don't think Shania Kapoor can do that? Oh, ye of little faith.
I think Shananya can do whatever she wants.
Pitu's face is like the epitome of evil. She's just like sitting there like,
I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see Supandi. Someone on Reddit called her Supandi, and I can't like shake that image. I just call her Supandi now.
No, like, have you seen those videos on Instagram? Like, the algorithm keeps showing me all these these videos of that poor child trying to belly dance. Have you seen it?
Why is everyone belly dancing, by the way? She's belly dancing, Janhvi Kapoor, Sara Ali Khan, everybody is belly dancing, but their belly doesn't move only.
They don't have a belly to. Don't you need a belly to do the belly dancing? Like, it's not six-pack dancing.
Yeah, it's not thin dancing, and there's no ada or anything. And one time I was like watching them dancing, and I was like, I don't want to see this. I would rather watch Madhuri in Dhak Dhak Karne Laga for like 1,000.
Oh my god! When we are talking on Madhuri, did you guys see that Twitter video
with Wahida Rahman?
With Wahida Rahman, and they're doing like they're sat down on set and just doing Pan Khayo Sayya Hamar, and it's just like a million times better.
She and Helen did Mungra, and then she and Asha Parekh did Acha To Hum Chalte Hain.
And she and Renuka Shah did Lo Chali Mein.
Yeah, they were so cute.
Yeah.
But I've realized that all of us, everyone in this screen right now has turned into their parents, because when we were little, this is what our parents used to say. My mother used to say this, these
Hema Malini.
Salman and all that you watch. We grew up watching Devanand. What an actor. What an actor, Devanand.
Devanand.
Now I've become that same person. I will watch the Shania Kapoor and everything.
Well, at least say Dilip Kumar, right? Devanand.
Okay, don't say anything bad about Devanand unless you want my mother to fly to England to beat you up.
I just want to point out, like, Blue Gem says Kalank has Ghar More and Padmavat has Ghumar. And I just want to say, like, Ghar More Pardesiya, like, every time I watch it, I just get mad all over again. And it's a shame because it's actually a very well, like, the set design and the choreography, like,
The
everything really
costumes.
works. Very nice, right?
Yeah.
But every single time I see Alia dancing while Mads is standing right there. And I'm like, what is wrong with you, you crazy man? Like, who does that? And like, I can see, like, every single time, usually, like, if it had been like anybody else, if like Alia had just been like dancing on her own, I would not have minded as much. I would not have noticed as much. But like the fact that she's doing it right next to Madhuri makes, like, every single time she misses, like, you know, like her poses aren't as perfect. You know, the lines of her shoulders aren't correct. I can see every single bit of it. And it just makes me more and more angry every time I see it. I'm just like, why? Why?
Madhuri probably took a Xanax every time she showed up on set. She's like, I have to watch Alia dance today in front of me. Pop a Xanax.
But also, like, the whole movie does that song disservice. Like, the movie by itself existing, like, you know, by virtue of it's a disservice to that song.
That movie was so bad.
You guys are saying, you know, Wahida Rahman and Madhuri are great actresses on that thing on Indian Idol. But that's why Madhuri is a good actor, because in Ghar More Pardesi, she's actually acting like, oh, kya dancing kar rahi hai? That is talent.
But when Kalank was being promoted, did you guys see, like, whenever Alia, Varun, Madhuri and these people, they used to show up at those promotional events, right? And every single promotional event, Alia was asked to dance on that little bit that she did. And she's a little child. She's like a 4-year-old. She's like, okay. And she comes and she starts doing her whatever. And you can see Madhuri just trying to keep a straight face in the background. She's like this. I mean, I don't know how she didn't burst out laughing. I used to watch those videos just to see Madhuri's face.
It's like,
uncle ko dance karke dikha.
Uncle ko poems to
Yeah, it's the same thing.
Oh God.
I just want to point out, like, Sujoy and I basically sat here and like ate, drank, like had a proper meal. And poor Beth is sitting there like, I hope nobody watches me. Like, I have something to eat. And
for me and Amrita, this is a mukbang channel now.
This is also how we record our podcast, by the way. Like, we are fully snacking, having like a full. This is going on. This is like a marathon. Like, you know, like Pitu and Beth have been on multiple times, so they know. But yeah, basically, like, it takes a while. We need our energy. We need to keep it up.
Speaking of energy, this kind of gives us a good one. Next question. What do you guys think of, like, food portrayal in Bollywood? Have you thought of that? And I
have one pet peeve about it.
Tell me the pet peeve first, then.
I was waiting for you to finish your thought.
No, khatam. Tu bol.
So this is a huge pet peeve I have in every single Bollywood movie, and I also watch a lot of Pakistani TV shows. In every single Pakistani TV show, also, always the breakfast table is laden with toast, orange juice, coffee, black tea, and bananas. Okay, and people always, they will be like, breakfast to karke jao, and then the hero is like, abhi mujhe der ho rahi hai, and he'll like munch a toast and he'll run out the door. I'm like, this is India, this is Pakistan. You're supposed to stuff your face with parathas, with dahi and pickle. You're supposed to eat like poha or upma or sabudana khichdi or omelette to khao yaar.
Omelette,
Which house has toast, coffee and orange juice? I'm sorry. I've lived in India. I have so many friends. I have never been to an Indian household or a Pakistani household where there was toast and cornflakes on the table. It is a travesty and I will not stand for it.
And also the least, like the worst quality like the worst quality toast. Do you see the bread that they eat? Is like, how have some organic, yaar? What is this nonsense packet bread you're eating?
It's just sitting there, and I'm like, do you even know how bad this breakfast is? Like, I go into like nutrition mode. I'm like, it's white bread, it's orange juice, it's coffee, it's just sugar overload, guys. It's very bad glycemic index. I'm very unhappy about it.
What I was also thinking about is like, for how much we all love food, and I think even all of us are foodies, right? And all of our culture is a foodie culture.
Yeah.
I don't think food has been portrayed great in Indian movies. Like, like in Hollywood, you have like, what's that Italian Stanley Tucci movie where they're eating food, and Babette's Feast, and Dîner des Cons, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot of food movies. Even like, what is that one with the Helen Mirren where they have like an Indian chef and the 100-Foot Journey or something like that? It's not bad. It's not bad, that movie. But like, food has always been like a thing, right? Even in Asian movies. But India, Pakistan, why have we not been able to crack it? Why is like
did it, no? Chef? Said this, no? Chef?
Yeah, like a whole movie on paratha rolls, paratha pizza is our biggest invention. This is what we can come up with.
Isn't there like some, I haven't seen this movie, but isn't there some movie with like Parineeti Chopra and maybe Kunal Kapoor, right?
Ishq.
That one, but I mean, that's the only one I can think of. And then there is, of course, that whole trope of moms making gajar ka halwa, but that's it.
There's Lunchbox, like, that's the artsy one people can go for, like...
There's another one called Stanley Ka Dabba.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Not seen
There's
that.
English with all the laddus she used to make.
What about the Mithun movie where he is dancing with the giant carrot halwa on the beach?
Halwe Wala. This is my sister's favorite song. She was probably maybe.
That was
in all seriousness, the food becomes this like it's a song metaphor quite a bit, right? It's like a song prop / metaphor, but not the subject of a film as much.
Yeah, it's always like it has a bit of a backdrop, but it's never about the food, right? Like
that song, Batta Vada.
Like imagine like if there was a movie about some guy finding like some old recipe of a king, and then recreating it, like galati kebab or something like that, like something, like that could be like even like if it's, remember that episode of Seinfeld where Elaine finds the recipes to the soup in one of her cupboards? That could be like, a food related kind of story, but we've not had, like, Amrita, you were going to say something.
No, I was going to say, like, remember the legendary song, You Are My Chicken Fry? You are my
That
is the name of my YouTube playlist of Bollywood food songs.
Wow. This is why we love you, because you're so classy. You're such a class act, man.
It's just because I'm new, right? I'm like, what is this?
I will say one thing. I do like one thing about Satya. That old Ram Gopal Verma movie back when RGV actually made good movies. There is quite a lot of snackage that happens in it. And because I'm from Bombay, I love all the snackage in it. And one of my favorite things about that song, Badalo Se Kaat Kaat Ke, is like a romantic song picturized on Satya and Urmila at the beach. And she's trying to get him to say that he loves her, but he's like being very like shy and whatever, like coquettish. And then he says something like, मुझे तुम बहुत अच्छी लगती हो, and she said जैसे कि, and then he mentions one or two things, and then he says जैसे कि vada pav, and I was like, yes, a man who equates his love for his woman with vada pav is my kind of man. Viku Mhatre for life.
No, but there's been songs, there's been sequences. For me, like omelets have been important because of Kuli. Remember that sequence where he's like cooking the omelet and then the radio gets changed and then yoga starts to happen?
I don't know this.
It's in Kuli. Who's the
Rati Agnihotri and
She's
Amitabh Bachchan.
hiding.
Yeah.
She's hiding behind, and he's doing like he's
No,
going to cook.
no. She's
No,
handcuffed. She's handcuffed.
She's
And
handcuffed.
she changes the radio channel, so it changes
yoga.
from the omelette recipe to the yoga, and then he makes the omelette upside down or something in the yoga asana. Oh, good memories.
But always makes me want to eat omelette though. And
Yeah,
also
yeah.
another thing, Hrithik Roshan always wants to make somebody an omelette in his movies.
Or a
Like-
Bonvita.
That might be endorsement. So in
Yeah,
Kaho
it
Na
is.
Pyar Hai, in Bang Bang, in Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, all of them he's wanted to cook an omelette for somebody.
Wow.
He's also making paella in Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara, right?
No, omelette.
Yeah. He's making paella. I'm for sure that I've seen that movie way too many times.
And another good song with about movies is obviously Maine Pyar Kiya, right? Rasmalai aapke liye kitni mithaiyan.
That's how I can.
No, that's Hum Aapke Kaun, sorry. The other one.
That's
Yeah.
that song, Chocolate Lime Juice,
Yeah.
from the same movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and there's the Rajat has commented about the omelet scene in Suhag where Parveen Babi is trying to make
Oh yeah.
an omelet. That's good too.
Yeah, that's a good one too. Yeah.
You guys remember the proxy kiss and tal with the Coca-Cola?
Yes, iconic.
Very subtle, very subtle.
Yeah.
Alisa says, you guys never wrote me that war fanfic of Hrithik making Tiger a post-coital omelette. So sad.
Yeah, Martha, get on it.
Yeah. Alyssa, the eggs got too smashed, so they couldn't make the omelette. Oh God. I think maybe final few questions. No, I think we're getting there. I think
Rajat mentioned about the food song in Duplicate, which was definitely
Oh yeah.
The best.
Wajiva.
talk about all the other Khans. We did Saif a little bit. At the start, we talked a bit about Saif. Beth and Pitu, do you have any thoughts on? Hello.
I like Ayub Khan. I keep thinking Salma pe dil aa gaya, but no one ever bites.
You're the only one.
Irfan, obviously.
Obviously,
Although
amazing. Yeah.
he let his name drop. No, at the end, didn't he just become Irfan at the end?
Yeah.
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 And what about Kader Khan?
Of course. The legend
Yeah.
Tobji.
Yeah, Tobji.
in his coffin.
Yeah, I was on my friend's podcast, the swinging palm trees, and I think it's going to get launched. And I was talking about Muqaddar Ka Sikandar and about Kadir Khan, how much of a kind of seminal sequence that was, that graveyard sequence. I don't think I would be the person if that scene hadn't happened in my life. I feel it's so important, and Kadir Khan for that is so important. Yeah, Kadir Khan doesn't get the respect he should, right? Like there should be like mausoleums and statues for Kadir Khan somewhere, you know. Yeah. Any other Khans that we are missing?
Feroz Khan.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's some swag.
Fawad Khan, yeah. Fawad
Yep.
Khan, yeah.
Fawad Khan, yeah.
All
One
Khans
that
are
could have
good,
been.
it seems. Can this be true?
Well, there's
seems true.
Ferdeen, and then there is the other one. What's his
Zayed.
name?
Zayed Khan. I
Zayed.
don't line at Zayed Khan. No, all Khans are
mean-
not good, Beth.
I don't like them, but I'm neutral. Like whatever, they're harmless, right? Charmless, but harmless.
My favorite quote by Sanjay Khan, that would be Zayed Khan's dad, was
Yeah.
when he was talking about how Zayed Khan is the most handsome man in Bollywood and in the film industry right now. Yeah, he said that with a straight face. He was convinced of it. I was like, are you on
Wow.
drugs? He's not.
No.
And he said that like last year, not even like Zayed Khan at his peak. Zayed Khan at like
At his
74.
peak, which was one movie. Yeah.
Amjad Khan, good one. Amjad Khan.
Oh
obviously.
yeah, all good.
Yes. Yes.
Are there any female Khans?
Farah.
Good.
Oh,
Farah
the
Khan's
director,
good.
yeah.
There's Zareen Khan.
Oh,
She's
God.
okay.
Mm.
But she doesn't do anything, so it doesn't
Yeah.
really matter.
She exists.
Yeah, she's there.
She's in the Salman Khan Rozgar Yojana.
Yeah.
Sara Ali Khan.
Sara Ali Khan, good Khan, good
Yeah.
Khan.
That is a good Khan.
I'm always cringing at her photo shoots, though. I'm always worried about what photo shoot she's going to come out with Ibrahim.
I feel Sara Ali Khan and me have kind of the same energy where we're not afraid to be embarrassed. Like it's like there's like an unashamedness to both of us, which I can vibe with. I can get that.
Your photo, is your mouth open in every single photograph? In that case, you do have the same energy.
That I didn't notice.
I'm like, then a fly is going into your mouth. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's final question maybe, unless I'm forgetting anything. If we're like, I think let's do one more we got, and then chat room, any final questions, drop them now, and then we can get to them. Talk about the Khans outside of their acting, producing, and singing. Singing, amazing, na? Chandi ke, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Fawad is actually a phenomenal singer. I love Fawad's voice.
Oh yeah, he was in a band too, no?
Yeah, he was in a band.
Fawad, like, I don't know, like, what the hell is his gig, man? Like, he's just, he never does anything. Like, it's like he came to India and I feel like everyone was like, would you want to do this? And he was like, yeah, okay, I'll do it. And then he went back to Pakistan after they were like, nay, like, you know, death threats and everything.
I watch
and
all his Pakistani shows, by the way. He is so hot and so awesome.
Make them again. Like, that's what I don't understand. Like, he was so successful in Pakistan. Why didn't he make like more Pakistani stuff? You know that they must be like dying to work with him.
Too. He's come in some really good Pakistani movies as well. He's awesome.
Not since, like, you know, like he went back though. Like, he had that one bull movie that came out.
No, but he's doing Maula Jat, like big hopes for Maula Jat too. He's got him and Mahira Khan.
So Mahira Khan, that's another Khan I love. I adore her. She's also in Maula Jat, by the way.
I tell you, like the thing that probably all of my pet peeves hatke, that Mahira Khan did not get a career in Bollywood is something that I will carry to my grave. That's the biggest tragedy ever.
I think she actually lucked out because she's doing better work in Pakistani shows and movies than she would have gotten in Indian films. Like, she actually gets author-backed roles. Like, her movie Home and Jahan was really good. Like, she's doing better work there. So I'm kind of, I mean, we're wasting Vidya Balan and Madhuri and all. So, like, you know.
So that's what I was thinking, like, you know, like Mahira has been in about like 5 different projects since the whole thing went down. And then Fawad is like making ads for his wife, which is very nice, but like make a movie in between, nah? Like, what happened?
Yeah, they have smoking chemistry, the two of them. I ship them a lot.
But he's really good with like all his leads, I feel. Like I like all the shows that I've seen of him, like he's had like really good chemistry with all of them. So he's got that. Actually, I feel like that was probably one of the reasons why they tried to get rid of him. Like, he was like the impetus, because you had like other Pakistani actors before, but Fawad has that Shah Rukh factor, you know, like where he can really like have chemistry.
He swallowed up the screen in Kapoor and Sons. It was impossible to impossible to watch Siddharth Malhotra when Fawad is in the same screen as him, because you can tell how untalented by comparison he is, because Fawad just like exists and you just only watch him. But I have to disagree with you regarding Fawad having good chemistry with everyone. Have you seen his Khoobsurat with Sonam Kapoor? It was horrible.
Oh, I love that one.
Yeah. You didn't want to strangle Sonam Kapoor with your bare hands. She was so irritating.
So that was a Khoobsurat remake of the Rekha one, right?
Yeah,
apparently.
Right.
And I love the Rekha one. You know that, Beth. You know that, Pitu, and you know that, Amrita. But I went into that movie really prepared to hate Sonam and the movie, and I actually ended up liking it. It was quite good.
I mean, I would prefer it had been someone else than her. Don't get me wrong, but I thought for her, that was for me, that's my favorite of her performances, and it's probably largely due to him. But not only because she has a lot of fun scenes. By herself,
sure.
But she could be someone else, and it would still work fine.
I feel like this sentence can be made about any Sonam Kapoor movie, by the way.
Agree.
No, I
Agreed.
feel like that particular movie was like the closest to her personality. Like I feel like it was a very genuine performance because she wasn't acting as much. She was just being her
like
own
Aisha.
self. Yeah.
But remember that she was an AK versus AK where she is supposed to be herself?
Yeah.
She's so terrible.
She's really bad in that.
Alyssa writes, "Khubsurat is rainbows and puppies and unicorns, so sweet and cute." And I that was the first Disney Hindi production, I think,
Oh, I didn't know it was Disney.
And it was promoted like a Disney princess movie, and the marketing was all around that. And I think Sonam played it to that to her strengths into that, for sure.
You know
I
that
still
really
haven't-
appeals to Sonam, right? Like she's a Disney princess. Like that's what she
Yeah.
puts on her resume. Like I played the Disney princess.
When her eyes are as big as her waist, that's what you need to be a Disney princess. And she does have that.
Yeah. I
wanna
still
say
haven't had the
hi-
courage to watch Prem Ratan Dhan Payo, by the way.
No, me neither.
Should I?
Payo.
I'm
I
scared.
can't stop saying Payo every time.
That we should watch it together and commiserate.
Yes, please.
By the way, I just want to say hi to Anita, who's like saying like really nice things about about Sujoy and me.
You know people have favorites.
But thanks, Anita.
Thanks, Anita.
Is this a plant? I feel like this is Anita's cousin or something.
It's like Sujoy and me. Like
No, also about she also says good things about Asim. She says, "Asim, you are Karan. Every time I hear your voice, it feels like a warm embrace from my favorite Desi uncle."
Which
Uncle
Karan?
Uncle
Which
bola.
Karan is this?
Haila, uncle bola.
But also, does she mean Karan or Karen? You are a Karen.
Oh.
No, thank you, thank you, Anita. That's very sweet of you. We wanted to talk about the outside of the careers. Did we do that already, or are we doing that?
Yeah, I think we can
We got
move on.
distracted now. So bringing us back. Singing we did, right? Producing. Who is the best producer out there? Except Anushka Sharma, but because Shah Rukh is a bad producer, right?
Amir.
Amir produces decent things.
Yeah.
And Salman produces Love Yatri.
Okay, are you going to judge me? I've seen that movie twice. It's actually a lot of fun.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
It's so expected of Pitu to like Love Yatri though.
The songs are very catchy. The songs are very catchy.
Notebook that Salman Khan produced. That's also a good movie. You know that one, like in Kashmir and something like that. There's
I don't know.
Apparently, that's also a good movie.
I haven't seen it.
I know she's not a Khan, but props to Anushka Sharma. She is turning out to be a phenomenal
Amazing.
producer. Like she's awesome. Yeah. And Shah Rukh should learn from her.
Asim, of course, is like a big fan of Taxi. Taxi what? Taxi Driver.
Khali
Taxi what?
Pili.
Kali Pili.
Which is of course part of the Salman Khan Rozgar Yojana.
Why?
Is it? Or is
No,
it? Or is
there's
it
no
like,
connection.
There's no connection.
It has that brother-in-law, na? That Love Yatri guy is in it, right? In Kali Pili or no?
No. It's Ishan Khattar.
Oh, it's Ishan Khattar.
Oh, okay.
No.
Interchangeable.
Anaya Pandey.
It's Ali Abbas Zafar produced it. So maybe that's the connection you're making.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did they these producers? Hosts. Shah Rukh is the best host. I think Salman gets close, right, with Big Boss and all that kind of thing. I
Saif
don't
is
know.
also decent. Saif is witty.
Yeah. Das Kadam.
Yep.
Salman has like that wild dog energy to him, you know, where like he's either like he's like very fun and easy, but you'd never know what will set him off.
Yeah. You don't
And,
know when
like,
you snap.
Yeah, and the moment he does, it's like it's anybody's like, you know, because he doesn't care. Like he'll be like, I'll beat you on camera. that kind of energy. So you're like you're never quite sure what you're getting with Salman.
You're always on edge with him, I agree. Yeah. That's why they probably don't get him to host Vimal Ilaichi Awards or whatever.
But the only thing I've watched
Oh.
with him is the celebrity the Daskadam parts, because that was fun.
Yeah.
I knew everybody was going to have a good time. He was interviewing Preeti Zinta and all that chalega, you know.
Yeah.
But Big Boss, I can't watch that. It's not for me.
Can you imagine what if Salman Khan had his own interview show like Rendezvous with Simi Garewal or something? That would be awesome. That would be really good. I should pitch this to someone.
Rajat says that I was actually talking about this thing called Dr. Cabby, which has his brother-in-law. That's what I was saying.
Ah,
That's what it was.
that's why you were talking taxi.
I was like, this taxi mein kuch hai. Like, I haven't seen it, but kuch hai. Yeah.
That was the final question. Shall we see any other final questions that we have in the chat room that we want to talk about? Sujoy, anything that pops up? You were following this part?
Somebody, I think Zombie Z Queen, she wanted to talk about Lucky Ali singing "Oh Sanam" again, warmed my soul.
Yeah, that was sweet.
I think this is one of those you guys were there in India when this was happening stuff. Like,
But it's Lucky Ali.
What is Lucky Ali? Like, it's 3 songs, no? Like, why do you like him that much?
Don't say that, Asim. I will have to unfriend you.
He had like a couple of albums, like they were all really, really good. And I think that was the time, like the 90s indie pop movement. I think Lucky Ali is one of the brightest stars that came out of it. And it's warm. It's like a warm hug.
It's like Euphoria. Like, you don't diss Euphoria. Asim will like, someone will be like, I love To Kill a Mockingbird. And Asim will be like, Hardball, she only wrote one more. Yeah, she only wrote one. Chill.
What else? What else are we talking about here?
It's not a Khandaan episode until like all the people on the call have like gotten beaten down and everybody's like, I want to die.
Did you all see the Vidya Balan photo shoot for Vogue? It was really nice.
Oh, actually, I meant to watch it. I didn't see it.
It's really pretty. Like they dressed it up in all these like kind of like period costumes, and a lot of the pictures are like black and white, and she looked really beautiful. And I thought it was a good vindication, given that that same Vogue India put Suhana Khan on their cover and gave her like a whole photo shoot and interview and whatnot.
Oh yeah.
Which I unfollowed them for. Because
you guys
my unfollow has so much power. That unfollow resulted in Vidya Balan getting a shoot.
Did you watch it, Beth? Like, did you see the Vogue photo shoot?
No, I went looking and then I got distracted by something else about Vidya and then just kind of wondering like, why is she making the movies that she makes? So I got distracted, but I will look.
Yeah, I'll look too.
I'm Thagya. I think we're done.
Yeah, we've been doing this for almost 3 hours now.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I'm quite surprised by the number of people that have joined this YouTube live. I'm really happy.
I think we did almost 3 hours and there was not even an item song required. Sujoy, I think you should sing. I think that should be the ending you promised to the people. No?
You should sing your favorite song.
No, yeah, because he's in an engineering college. It should be, You Are My Sunshine from 3 Idiots. What is that song? Like, give me some sunshine.
No, I will not sing that.
You should sing Durga hai meri maa. Rupa, तुम्हारी खूबसूरती, तुम्हारी जवानी, तुम्हारी खूबसूरती और जवानी, तुम्हारी जान में लेती।
ये तुम्हारी कमजोरी है औरत।
Guys, let's wrap it up. I've got lasagna waiting.
Wow. Okay.
Beth, where can people find you online?
Twitter at Beth Loves Bolly.
Pitu?
I live in a cave. It's impossible to find me. No, I'm on Instagram at Pitu Sultan.
Sujoy, man?
Pitu, like tell them about Kapaw with Pitu. Uska kya hua?
I'm getting all bored and I'm doing hot girl shit. So I haven't uploaded Kapaw with Pitu in a while. But I'm thinking I'll do gardening videos on it because I don't know. I'm like a moody, eccentric grandmother. I'm sorry.
Okay, Amrita should do the Trimurti song.
What? Mata.
What are we doing next?
I'm
I'm on. Well, I'm on Twitter and Instagram at 93k, and people are asking me to do a Kamal Khan impression.
Oh, yeah, do it.
Oh
do
dear.
it.
Laga re. तुमसे मिलकर. Pardon? But it is.
जाने जाना.
Oh, जाने जाना. ढूंढे तुझे दीवाना. I'm done.
But we don't hear about Kamal Khan anymore. What happened to him?
He went away, to Dubai to stop from like giving witness in the one of Salman's cases.
Really? I didn't know all this. So he lives in Dubai now.
Yeah.
So he can't sing.
कोई बुलाए तो करे ना.
I guess Bhai Rozgar Yojana is not applicable to him anymore. So there is that.
So he can't sing.
Solo debate probably start a band.
And all, so I was like,
Amrita, where can people find you online?
Amrita can only be found online. Amrita has like 5 podcasts, 5 YouTube channels. I follow everything Amrita does on Instagram. It's exhausting. I like everything. Today I'm hosting this book. Today I'm doing this podcast. Once I asked her, how many podcasts do you do? She's like, oh, that's for my regional movie podcast. I'm like, what the fuck do you speak? Yeah, Amrita, tell us the 100 things you do.
Wait until May and then I'll be in like another literature podcast also. You can find me on YouTube at Amrita by the Book, which is my book channel. And then you can find me on Twitter at Amrita IQ. And I won't tell you like all my Instagram shit and everything. No,
tell us.
It's also the same as like my YouTube channel. It's just called Amrita by the Book, and I just talk about like books.
I see people are also asking for more Tolly Folly. Are you guys planning any more Tolly Folly?
We can.
Yeah. We need to do that. I think the next season will be on
Soumitra.
Son Papdi. Yeah.
What is Tolly Folly? Is it about Telugu movies?
Bengali movies.
Bengali movies.
Okay, but Tollywood is.
They both are.
Yeah. No, but this is named after Tolly. Yeah.
Oh, because I was going to tell you people that Alla Vaikantaralappu is being remade in Hindi. So I wanted to burst your bubble because that's how evil I am.
Who's starring in it?
I don't know. I read it, but I forgot. I think Kartik Aaryan.
Oh.
Yeah.
That makes sense in a weird way.
Why do you think I was so gleeful? That's why I was so gleefully telling them, because I wanted them to ask me.
Like, it's got all the hair and 0% of the charisma of Allu Arjun.
Yeah, I know. Terrible. I don't want him to do that. Butta bomma.
But he has like the charisma of Pooja Hegde though, right? Hegde? Is that?
Which is nothing, like none, but okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for everybody that joined us. Thank you for everybody in the chat room. This was so much fun. We'll have to do this again. We're taking a little break from Khandaan just because we've been doing a lot of them, but we will be on the Beyond Bollywood podcast with Harun Rashid on the BBC, which is going to be fun. We're going to bring it. And until then, leave us a review, drop us an email at youpodcasting@gmail.com. When we get back, we will record. We don't know in which shape and form we will come back. It might be stage 2. We'll see. We've been talking about
that sounds very alarming, but okay. We don't know how we will be back. What does that mean? Are you all also going to Dubai or something? We're going to Dubai. We can't do podcast.
So Joy is going to start a band with like Sonu Nigam and Khan and Nadine from Nadine Shravan.
Okay. On that note, guys, thank you for joining us. Thank you, Pitu. Thank you, Beth. This was much fun. I don't know if you can leave this broadcast and then say bye to each other, Sujoy. I don't know if that's possible.
I think I can end it now. Yeah.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Peace out.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, everybody.